Good morning at 6:03. Robert and Erin, 101.7 FM and 710 Keel. Way down there. Erin has local news, and it's next.
The Cross Bayou Project. Where are we now after lots of heated debate? More violence in Shreveport, this time in the Cedar Grove community. We'll talk more about that. And the lawsuit against the CAO and the mayor now headed to a higher court.
Wow, they did vote yesterday, right?
You bet.
I don't know how it turned out. This is like the NBA playoffs, Warriors, Rockets. No, I'm too nervous. It's like Mudbugs hockey. I'll just wait and see in the morning. And you're waving your phone. What?
Stephanie Lynch is joining us at 6:40. Are you excited?
We will discuss all
That's
of
your
this.
girl.
We will discuss all of this momentarily. Fletcher in sports and traffic and weather, and it's all here this hour coming up on Keel.
The power of information. KEEL News now.
The Cross Bayou development takes the next step forward. After heated debate, the council votes to approve a resolution to support the mayor's authority to move forward with the project. Councilwoman Stephanie Lynch says the vote, with all the politics out of the way, is all about developing downtown. And Mayor Tyler says while she's not leading the charge or pushing this particular development, she fully supports anyone that can make our city better and bring jobs.
And I told them that I fully support any developer that comes in and develop Cross Bayou. Bring in jobs, bring in, activities downtown that will promote growth, but I would never lead the effort. I made that clear, Councilman Bowman. Very clear.
Paul Pratt from GDC says if things come together the way he hopes, they could break ground on the development within 18 months. Shreveport police investigating an early morning shooting. According to reports, a man was shot just after 2 a.m. on Linwood Avenue. The victim suffered a gunshot wound to the side. His condition unknown at this time. So far, no arrests have been made. Now, on the crime front, many local residents are very frustrated. Belinda Rose told the council it's time to take some innovative steps to end the violence.
Now, I stand before you on behalf of the elders in my area and the children. We have many retired people who have done their duty, I feel, and I respect that. But they have to listen at the gun violence on a constant basis.
Rose lives in the Cedar Grove community. 2 men wanted in Bossier for attempting to use counterfeit bills. One was able to buy several items at the Target in Bossier. The other suspect attempted to use the fake money for a purchase at Circle K, but the clerk was able to spot the fake. You can see pictures of the men at KeelNews.com. An appeals court to revisit the lawsuit against the mayor and the CAO. Matt Parker with that.
The Louisiana Second Circuit Court of Appeal will decide whether or not to reverse a ruling made in the defamation suit against Shreveport Mayor Ollie Tyler and City CAO Brian Crawford. Last year, a lower court dismissed the suit brought against the city leaders by Scott Pernici and Michael Wainwright. The pair claimed Tyler and Crawford defamed their character by alleging they were crooked and blackmailing the city by asking for payment for discovering a problem with the city's water billing. A decision is expected to be made in the case by the end of June. From 101.7 FM and 710 Keel, I'm Matt Parker.
The special session is on, but LAPolitics.com publisher Jeremy Alford says don't expect the deal to be reached anytime soon.
Negotiations, if they have started in earnest, are obviously starting late. Quite frankly, inside the rails, lawmakers are already talking about another special session. That is a very distinct possibility.
This special session is set to run until June 4th. Roughly 800 people in Shreveport were without power early today, according to SWEPCO. A major outage hit areas between Milam and Exposition. However, crews were able to make the repairs and restore power to most. The U.S. and South Korea trying to keep the highly anticipated U.S. summit with North Korea on track, even after President Trump abruptly said there's a very substantial chance it won't happen as scheduled. Amazon now using a facial recognition tool, and the company's made the technology available to police agencies. It lets authorities ID people in videos, then follow their movements almost instantly. The ACLU and other groups have asked Amazon to stop marketing recognition to government agencies. The 35th annual Mudbug Madness Festival kicking off tomorrow afternoon at Festival Plaza. It celebrates Cajun culture with food, art, live music, and lots more. There's a kickoff parade, a 5K run, and opening ceremony will start the festival tomorrow at 6:30 p.m. The event runs through May 27th. I'm Erin McCarty on 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL.
Ten past 6 o'clock, time for KEEL traffic. Here's Ruben.
Starting things off looking nice and clear for your early morning drive to work, but look out later on this morning for some traffic delays on North Market near North Hearn Avenue. If you have any accidents, hazards, or closures to report to us, please give us a call at our Planet Fitness traffic hotline. That's 687-ROAD.
Your AccuWeather.com forecast. Patchy fog this morning, otherwise partly sunny today. A thunderstorm this afternoon with a high of 89. Some clouds and a shower or thunderstorm tonight. With your AccuWeather.com forecast, I'm meteorologist Heather Zaire.
Good morning at 612. Robert J. Wright and Erin McCarty, 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL. That KEEL app is a free download from Office Furniture Source. Erin's during the break, her quote from during the break was, "They changed it so much, and it's so confusing." Yesterday, Shreveport City Council voted on the Memorandum of Understanding, the non-binding Memorandum of Understanding with Gateway Development Consortium for the sort of go-ahead, but not really, for the billion-dollar 10-year project for the development of Cross Bayou. You're waving your hand already.
They didn't exactly vote on the Memorandum of Understanding.
It's no longer an MOU.
Basically, what the city council voted on is, hey, Ollie, if you want to do this, do it. We support you.
So
Yeah,
it's
it's
an
up to you.
It's like a memorandum of misunderstanding.
No.
Okay, so
No.
here was where I was puzzled to begin with. the mayor is empowered to sign off on this non-binding MOU. But she said to the city council, I want you guys to vote on this non-binding MOU, Memorandum of Understanding. So the city council, after seeing a presentation from the prospective developer on Monday for the Cross Bayou project, then they were scheduled to vote yesterday. So what happened yesterday?
Well, Stephanie Lynch amended it, taking out some of the language and asking for 6 things in return. She's going to join us this hour. She wanted some things in the agreement, but essentially she was like, this gives the mayor the authority to negotiate and get with Gateway and make sure that
did the mayor not have that authority to begin?
She pretty much already did.
This is more like a slap on the back and be like, hey, Ollie, go get them. If you want it, go get it.
Here's what happened from jump. They asked for an MOU. The mayor said something. She didn't know there was going to be an MOU. They asked for some sort of resolution from the council, from the city, and she said, let the council handle it. If they want to do it, let them do it.
Okay, but if the mayor is empowered to make those decisions, if she were empowered, which I think she is, to sign off on that MOU, why did she give it back to the council? That's always been puzzling to me.
That is part of the issue, because she said her plan for Cross Bayou, they soundly defeated. So she's like, she's snake bit. She's like, before I do anything on Cross Bayou, let's make sure they're good with it first.
So do you think the mayor would describe herself as snake bit?
She sounded that way yesterday during the meeting. I was
Really?
watching. She sounded like
I ain't going first.
Like, this is you guys. She made it clear. I want it to be very clear. I'm not pushing this. I'm not
Did she
behind.
really?
Oh, absolutely.
After fighting so hard for the first $100 million project.
She made it clear, this is not my baby.
But
I'm not doing it.
After busting it on the first one, after going to the wall with the city council and the people of Shreveport, all that misinformation on social media has defeated my plan. After really taking it to the nth degree on the first Cross Bayou deal. On this one, she is being a little more reticent, shall we say.
She's not against it. Let me make that real clear.
She's not committing like she did the first time.
She's not leading the charge.
That wall hurt.
Do you think that's political?
Oh, absolutely.
In other words, do you think if she were 1 year into a second term that she would be so hesitant to back this?
I think it all has to do with the first time. I think it all has to do with, I thought we had a great plan. I thought everything was, all the I's were dotted. We had the Pelicans on board. This was a go. And then I get soundly shot down. I think that has everything to do with it.
In other words, she's saying to the council, y'all kind of screwed me the first time.
What is it? Once bitten?
Once bitten, twice shy.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, something like that. So you guys lead the charge on this. So it's kind of, there are some things that Stephanie wanted in the agreement, and I want to talk to her about it and find out what did she want.
Okay, so Stephanie makes all these amendments to the Memorandum of Understanding, and then what?
Then they voted 4-3 for whatever this amended plan was, which is so convoluted. It was so hard to follow. That's why I need to hear from her about what did you guys pass.
Because if there is anyone capable of clarifying the situation, it's City Councilwoman Stephanie Lynch.
Oh, absolutely.
So we had texted yesterday. You had texted Gateway Development Consortium guy, Paul Pratt. And
he's joining us at 8:40 this morning.
In studio or on the phone?
On the phone, I'm sure.
And you had asked Mr. Paul, you had said, if they vote down the MOU, is that a deal breaker? Because they had said, they had sort of implied that it was. If we don't get this non-binding Memorandum of Understanding from the city, then we're just the hell with you guys. So you had texted Mr. Paul yesterday and asked if the MOU is beaten, if it's turned back, if it's turned down by the city council today, is that a deal breaker or are you going somewhere else? And you never heard back.
Well, I've had a long relationship with Mr. Pratt, lots of different things, but of late, with the GDC, with the
Gateway Development Consortium,
everything has gone through a media firm out of New York City.
How do they say it up there?
New York City.
Sounds just like you're from Manhattan.
So I think everything that he does with media is kind of like go through these folks first.
It's filtered, if not censored.
Yeah, to make sure that he's doing things that whoever is in charge of the media wants him to do, etc.
So he's a mouthpiece.
A
beard, as it
I don't know.
were.
So I have, along with my text to him, which he would typically answer directly, I have gotten an email back from Dash Media, New York City.
How do they say it?
New York City.
It's, man, you sound like you're from Manhattan.
Paul can call in tomorrow after 8:30. Let me know if this works. So I've told them 8:40 works perfectly. And so that's where we are. So I'm hoping that, that message will get from New York City to Paul Pratt, which I'm sure it will.
Yes, Parky.
Well, I just, they did, Paul Pratt did, do a little spiel after the meeting yesterday where basically said, we're sort of happy about this. And we, if everything goes right, we could break ground in 18 months. So it sounds like it may not be exactly what they wanted, but it's enough to make them happy.
19 past 6 o'clock, 101.7 FM, 710 KEEL. Stephanie Lynch, City Councilwoman Stephanie Lynch joins us in less than 20 minutes. Right now, traffic update. Here's Ruben on KEEL.
Starting things off looking nice and clear for your early morning drive to work, but look out later on this morning for some traffic delays on North Market near North Hearn Avenue. If you have any accidents, hazards, or closures to report to us, please give us a call at our Planet Fitness traffic hotline. That's 687-ROAD.
Your AccuWeather.com forecast. Patchy fog this morning. Otherwise, today will be partly sunny with an afternoon thunderstorm at a high of 89. Another shower or thunderstorm tonight. With your AccuWeather.com forecast, I'm meteorologist Heather Zayer.
.101.7 FM, 710 KEEL. Time for sports.
Good morning from the sports desk of 1130 The Tiger. This is Tim Fletcher. LSU improved their NCAA baseball tournament resume with a stirring come-from-behind 8-5 win over Mississippi State in the first round of the SEC tournament. The Tigers were a bubble team before the loser leaves town matchup with the Bulldogs, and when Paul Maneri's men trailed 3-0 after 4.5 innings. But then they plowed through State pitching with 2 runs in the bottom of the 5th, 6th, 7th, and 8th innings. Starting pitcher Nick Bush and Zach Hess in a relief role each gave up 2 runs in 3 innings. Devin Fontenot stopped the bleeding and got the win. Todd Peterson earned the save. The Tigers take on Florida at 4:30 this afternoon on 1130 The Tiger. NSU begins Southland Conference tourney play at 9:30 this morning against McNeese. Louisiana Tech faces Rice in the Conference USA tourney opener this afternoon at 12:30. Houston won the closest game of the NBA's conference finals, holding off Golden State 95-92 to even the series 2-2. The Warriors used a 20-5 run over a 4-minute stretch to turn a 7-point deficit into an 8-point lead. The advantage grew to 12 early in the fourth before the Rockets rallied with a 15-2 run the night at 85-all. The Warriors missed their final 8 three-pointers. James Harden's driving layup gave Houston an 89-86 lead, and 2 minutes later, Eric Gordon hit a three, the biggest shot of his time as a Rocket, to provide some breathing room. From the sports desk of 1130 The Tiger, this is Tim Fletcher.
1017 FM and 710 Keel, 24 past 6 o'clock. Robert and Erin, when you would go to Hawaii to visit your son when he was stationed there, how close to that volcano were you? Was it a different island?
Different island.
Was it really?
Yeah.
Did you ever go to that island?
No.
The big island is Hawaii.
Right, I think so. I never went to that one.
Okay.
I was always on Oahu, where Honolulu.
Now, how far away is this? I know there's a number of islands.
I'm not sure. It's a hop, skip, and a jump.
Yeah.
But, I mean, you got a boat ride or plane, you know.
Is it like what, 15
You can't
minutes?
swim.
20 minutes?
No clue. I have no clue. I've never done it. My son has done it a bunch, but I never asked him.
Because I'm just looking at the latest photos of the volcano, and it's holy cow. Mm-hmm. And the fact you've only had like one injury the whole time, I'm thinking
it is
you
amazing.
see the photos, and it looks like Pompeii.
Right.
Is in a couple thousand years we're going to dig people up in Hawaii. Mm-hmm. And I'm just looking at it, and now they're saying it is threatening a power plant, Hawaii's largest power plant.
It's pretty serious. It really is. And it's toxic. The fumes are toxic. That's part of the problem, you know. They've had to evacuate homes up in that area.
Well, to quote the very wise, to quote that great philosophical maven Matt Parker, if you build a city, if you build a civilization on a volcano, why are you surprised when the lava starts to flow?
Mm-hmm.
I saw this yesterday. I was not. Were you ever in the Girl Scouts or?
Yeah,
were
absolutely.
you really?
Oh yeah.
I didn't know that.
Absolutely.
The Brownies and the Girl Scouts, right?
Brownies and Girl Scouts.
Now,
I sold Girl Scout cookies. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you still steal them. So, were you ever? I doubt it. If you just don't look like a scouting type.
No, I was never in the Boy Scouts, Eagle Scouts, any sort of scouts.
You don't know what you're talking about. So I was a Cub Scout, but then we moved away from Palestine to Birmingham, and when we moved to Birmingham, I never got back into Scouts. Now it's been a very controversial organization of late because of any number of reasons.
It's not called the Boy Scouts anymore.
Just the Scouts.
Scouts.
Leadership of the Scouts have mandated that condoms be readily and easily accessible for next year's 24th World Scout Jamboree to be held in West Virginia.
Oh, my.
According to the announcement on the events page, quoting now, for the first time, a World Jamboree will be hosted by 3 National Scout organizations, Scouts Canada, Asociación de Scouts de Mexico, I could say that again, but I don't want to seem too worldly, and the Boy Scouts of America. 3 distinct cultures will join together to host the World Scouting community in a celebration of cultural exchange. When you were in Scouts, did you think of the Scouts as being the purpose of the Scouts to be cultural exchange, mutual understanding, peace, and friendship? No. We camped out, we went fishing, we hunted for snakes.
Exactly. We ate s'mores.
According to the 2016 Scout Handbook, the World Scout Committee is mandating that condoms be made. What is the age for Boy Scouts? Is it, 25 to 29 now?
No.
Clarky, look that up. Boy Scouts age.
I'm looking.
According to the 2016 handbook, the World Scout Committee is mandating that condoms be made readily available. A subsection on page 10 of the publication reads, the host organization must ensure that condoms are readily and easily accessible for all participants at a number of locations on the Jamboree site.
According to their website, 11 years or older. So if you get in at 11, you could be there till you're your age, technically. So
We're going to give out condoms to 11-year-olds?
maybe it's for like the camp counselor type people.
The
18
directive
to 22.
adds, when making this information available on site, consideration shall be given to the various cultures and beliefs present.
Whoa.
So if you haven't made your vacation plans for next July,
Oh, yeah.
West Virginia, Scout World Jamboree, free condoms for everybody, over the age of 11.
Man.
29 past 6 o'clock, 101.7 FM, 710 Keel. City Councilwoman Stephanie Lynch is less than 15 minutes away talking about the MOM, Memorandum of Misunderstanding.
Yeah.
And that is coming up, but right now, here's Ruben.
Everything's still looking nice and clear for your early morning drive to work, but look out later on this morning for some traffic delays on Barksdale Boulevard near Airline Drive in Bossier City. If you have anything to report to us, please give us a call at our Planet Fitness Traffic Hotline. That's 687-ROAD.
Your AccuWeather.com forecast. Patchy fog this morning, otherwise partly sunny today. A thunderstorm this afternoon with a high of 89. Some clouds and a shower or thunderstorm tonight. With your AccuWeather.com forecast, I'm meteorologist Heather Zaire.
The power of information. KEEL News now.
The Shreveport Council votes to support the mayor in her quest to develop downtown. The council voted to support Ollie Tyler's authority to move forward with the Gateway Development Consortium. Now, while Mayor Tyler says she fully supports any company that wants to bring jobs, she does have some current concerns about the project and what the GDC wants from the city.
What I did not know was that there was going to be an MOU that would have expectations that the city would do a lot of the things the initial non-binding agreement had in it.
Mayor Tyler says she will not sign any MOU or agreement until she feels fully comfortable with GDC and what they can bring to our community. The special session has kicked off in Baton Rouge. Now, House Speaker Taylor Barra ripped into the governor, calling his decision to hold the speech outside of the Capitol a political stunt. Barra accusing the governor of resisting bipartisan offers and being personally responsible for legislative gridlock of the regular session.
The governor did everything possible to disrupt the process, including sending a fake eviction letter to tens of thousands of seniors in nursing homes. Threats and theatrics will not cause us to raise any new taxes.
The session has to end June 4th. Appeals court to revisit the suit against the mayor and the CAO. The Second Circuit Court of Appeal will decide whether or not to reverse a ruling made in the defamation suit against the two. Last year, a lower court dismissed the suit brought against the city leaders by Scott Pernice and Michael Wainwright. Two men wanted in Bossier for trying to use counterfeit money. One of the suspects bought some items at the Target in Bossier. The other tried to use the phony cash for a purchase at Circle K, but the clerk was able to spot the fakes. It's almost time for Mudbug Madness. Matt Parker with that.
Mudbug Madness will kick off tomorrow afternoon at Festival Plaza in downtown Shreveport. The festival celebrates Cajun culture with food, art, live music, and a whole lot more. A kickoff parade, 5K run, and opening ceremony will start the festival tomorrow at 6:30 p.m. The event will run through May 27th. From 101.7 FM and 710 Keel, I'm Matt Parker.
Police investigating an early morning shooting in Shreveport. According to reports, a man was shot just after 2 a.m. on Linwood Avenue. The victim suffered a gunshot wound to the side. His condition is unknown at this time. So far, no arrests have been made in the case. Alabama authorities investigating a Facebook video posted by a prison inmate showing two prisoners forcing a third at knife point to bend over for a spanking. Alabama.com reports the video posted shows a 26-year-old St. Clair County correctional inmate holding a paddle and hitting an older inmate while another inmate is holding a knife. I'm Erin McCarty on 101.7 FM and 710 Keel.
1017 FM and 710 Keel. Robert J. Wright and Erin McCarty. Yes, Councilwoman Stephanie Lynch in less than 5, 6, 7 minutes. I don't know. Do you wish you had a raise?
Of course.
Do you wish you had a raise?
Damn right.
I wish I had a raise.
Yeah.
100% of radio announcers, of morning show announcers on Keel wish they had a raise.
Yeah.
I'm looking at the teachers thing. 60% of teachers wish they had a raise.
That's not. You're so not. That's not it.
No, 61% of teachers would walk out to
Would
get a raise.
Walk out to get a raise.
They all
would
want
you
a
walk
raise.
out to get a raise?
Mm-mm.
No. See,
I would.
What does
only 1 out of 3 of us would walk out to get a raise.
Red River United Teachers Union President
Jackie Lansdale.
That was it. Jackie Lansdale said that the profession has been legislatively devalued.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have any idea what she means by that? Are we going to try to get her later to discuss this? I mean, it's interesting that they're starting to make threats. Are these threats? Or are these sort of warning shots over the bow? You better
this is over the bow.
You better start thinking about us.
It might be a torpedo under the boat too. I don't know.
But nobody has any money. Nobody's
got any money. Nobody's got any money, and you know, we shall see. We shall see what the funny thing. You know what teachers told me yesterday when I was talking about this with them.
Yeah,
they're like, "Why did the LFT?"
Hold on just a second. You've discussed this with some area teachers already.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Why did the LFT choose to release this?
What is the LFT?
Louisiana Federation of Teachers.
Thank you.
Why did they choose to release these numbers
at the end of the
year? At the end of the legislative session and at the end of the school year, where there's nothing that can really be done. You know, you have teachers are gone for the year. Lawmakers have wrapped up the session.
Well, lawmakers in Baton Rouge, what do they have to do with teacher pay? That's a local deal, isn't it?
Well, they could give more money for teacher pay. Absolutely.
You mean make it more available across the state?
You bet.
We don't have any money.
We don't have any money.
We
broke.
We are strapped.
Don't look now.
Okay, we need $650 million, according to John Bell and the John Bell backers in the legislature.
Yeah.
In fact, even the ones who are saying we need to hold the line, they're admitting we're about $650 short.
Right, and they're working on a compromise already. I'm hearing to maybe put part of that penny back.
So you said you were intrigued by the timing.
That's what the teachers told me.
The teachers are.
They have a good point.
The teachers are intrigued by the timing.
Why does the LFT pull the trigger after the session? I mean, they had the numbers last week.
Doesn't the LFT, wasn't that a hip-hop group in the 90s?
No.
Doesn't the LFT know the state doesn't have any money? Where do they think the money's going to come from?
If they were to walk out, like when could they walk out now? They're done. You're done for the year.
Well, see,
there's no walkout
This
happening.
gives us about 90 days or so to figure out a plan, or for them to circle their wagons and decide what threats are real and what threats aren't.
Yeah.
But I ask once again, where's the money coming from?
We don't have any money. We broke. We DB, broke.
So the question should be not necessarily why is the Louisiana Federation of Teachers doing this now, but why is the Federation Teachers doing it now when we don't have any money?
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, it's a bigger picture than the timing. You know what I mean?
Sure.
639, 1017 FM, 710 Keel, Shreveport City Councilwoman Stephanie Lynch is next. I'm going to ask her about the MOM.
Yeah.
Memorandum of Misunderstanding. That is coming up next on Keel. Here's Ruben.
Starting things off looking nice and clear for your early morning drive to work, but look out later on this morning for some traffic delays on North Market near North Hearn Avenue. If you have any accidents, hazards, or closures to report to us, please give us a call at our Planet Fitness traffic hotline. That's 687-ROAD.
Your AccuWeather.com forecast. Patchy fog this morning, otherwise partly sunny today. A thunderstorm this afternoon with a high of 89. Some clouds and a shower or thunderstorm tonight. With your AccuWeather.com forecast, I'm meteorologist Heather Zayer.
642, it's 1017 FM and 710 Keel. Robert J. Wright and Erin McCarty. Stephanie Lynch, Shreveport City Councilwoman. Hey, Miss Stephanie, how are you today?
Good morning.
So the meeting was yesterday. You saw the presentation. Let's go back to Monday and the GDC Gateway Development Consortium presentation that you saw. What can you tell us about that? I know you weren't there, but what have you heard about that in your absence?
Well, I heard that they had some technical difficulties with the presentation. So, it was pretty much what they've been putting on their website and provided to the council in advance of the meeting.
Well, I assume you've looked at the website. How does it look? Are you impressed with it, or I don't care?
Well, I'm really into the meat of the matter. The devil is in the details, as I've said before, and that's what I was focused on and concerned about.
The MOU, you made amendments. You wanted it changed. What was your problem with it, and what changes did you get approved?
Well, actually, I helped to co-author the amendment with Councilman Bradford. We scrapped the MOU altogether that GDC had provided, as a draft to the mayor, totally took that off the table. So the legislation yesterday was really not about the MOU itself, because that's under the authority of the mayor to come up with that document. But what the council passed yesterday was saying we support the mayor in, if she decides to move forward with the MOU, but we want to make sure that these 6 things are included in that MOU.
Give me an idea of those things. Yeah.
Well, one is, the development is supposed to be anchored by a municipal complex, which is largely dependent on the state consolidating certain state offices within that complex. Well, the first thing the council asked was that within 1 year from the date of an executed MOU, which the mayor, has the authority to do, the GDC shall deliver to the city a commitment from the state of Louisiana to consolidate those offices in that municipal complex.
So what else was in? What other amendments?
What are your other points?
What other changes are you demanding?
Well, there's not an MOU currently.
No, but you had made. What we want to know is what changes to the what do you want from GDC? In other words,
we want a commitment from the state that that they'll
that they've got the commitment from the
municipal complex.
Right.
We want a report regarding the on-site remediation of the project as a brownfield. We want a commitment for financing for a minimum of 500 housing units. We want GDC to provide the city a detailed cost-benefit analysis and pro formas showing the return on the city's investment from assembling, the contiguous lands across the bayou into one tract. We ask them for cost-benefit analysis and financials on all of their plans.
What does GDC?
Right now we don't have. See what the original, proposed MOU that they were asking the mayor to sign was saying we want the city to do this, 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 and this.
Mm-hmm.
We took all of that off the table and said strip that from the resolution to say take anything pertaining to what the city would do off the table. We said these are the at least 6 things that we want you to do.
Okay.
Did we get to all 6 of yours?
I think we did.
What did GDC originally? Pardon me, Steph. What did GDC originally want from the city that you found that you just said there's no way we can do that right now? I mean, because when they talked to us, when Mr. Paul had come in, when Mr. Pratt had come in, and Mr. English had come in, they had said this will all be made known to the city council. So what is it that they want as far as infrastructure or land or environmental studies, et cetera?
Well, it was real sort of, we want anything that you all can give us, basically. But that was not going to pass the council. That absolutely was not going to pass the council.
Your amendment sounds pretty reasonable. So why did 3 council members vote against it?
Well, I think what you saw yesterday were the 4 new city council members showing the leadership that this city needs. You had 3 term-limited city council members who were, kind of stuck where they, if you're happy with, the way things have been going, you would understand their vote on yesterday. But I think you saw leadership from the new 4 city council members saying, we've got to do something different.
Stephanie, we're talking to Councilwoman Stephanie Lynch. I also heard the mayor sound a little snake bit in that I'm not leading this charge. I'm already, you guys already voted down the previous. Did you hear that too? Are you a little bit ambivalent about where she stands on all this?
No, the mayor is firmly committed to the development of Cross Bayou, as is the council, and that's why we worked so hard to come up with an amendment that addressed her concerns, addressed some of the issues that we heard from, the business community, as well as some people who were naysayers or skeptical about the project.
Speaking of, pardon me just a second, speaking of naysayers or being skeptical, you told us about a week or so ago that parts of this deal reminded you of the Elio deal. Have you changed your stance, your position on that?
No, that's why I worked with Councilman Bradford on this amendment, because the devil is in the details. And so the council actually having input into what, will at some point eventually be an MOU, I think was important.
Do you still have a vote ultimately if this, where does the council come in on this project if it continues to move down this train track?
Well, at this point, we've said you have to come back with the market analysis, with the feasibility studies, with your financing. You've got to come back to the table with these items before we consider anything. The city is going to continue to do what it has been doing over, years and years and years, is to try to assemble the land around Cross Bayou and get it in a position to where it can be developed. That has been happening under several mayoral administrations. So that's nothing new. And that's, in terms of the amendment, that is the only thing in there that it says that the city will do, that we will continue to do, which has nothing to do with GDC. It has everything to do with, the master plan and the vision that, mayors and mayors and mayors have had about the development of Cross Bayou.
After the vote, I understand Paul Pratt told some members of the media they could break ground in 18 months? Pie in the sky, you think?
I'm not really sure what he's basing that on. Right now, we don't have contiguous property ownership in order to develop, the full scope of their phase 1 that they're proposing. So I'm not really sure. Again, if they can get a commitment from the state, next week, and, everything is a go, there's, possibility that, on some land down there that could start happening. I'm not really sure what he based that on.
That sounded odd to me, too.
Yeah, so they had a lot of things in there that were, numbers that were being thrown out that, again, you have to substantiate.
Councilwoman Stephanie Lynch, thank you so much for your time this morning. We appreciate it.
Thank you. Have a great day.
651, it's 101.7 FM, 710 KEEL. Ruben's here, traffic update.
Starting things off looking nice and clear for your early morning drive to work, but look out later on this morning for some traffic delays on North Market near North Hearn Avenue. If you have any accidents, hazards, or closures to report to us, please give us a call at our Planet Fitness traffic hotline. That's 687-ROAD.
Your AccuWeather.com forecast. Patchy fog this morning. Otherwise, today will be partly sunny with an afternoon thunderstorm at a high of 89. Another shower or thunderstorm tonight. With your AccuWeather.com forecast, I'm meteorologist Heather Zayer.
It is 6:53, 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL. Time for sports.
Good morning from the sports desk of 1130 The Tiger. This is Tim Fletcher. LSU improved their NCAA baseball tournament resume with a stirring come-from-behind 8-5 win over Mississippi State in the first round of the SEC tournament. The Tigers were a bubble team before the loser leaves town matchup with the Bulldogs, and when Paul Maneri's men trailed 3-0 after 4.5 innings. But then they plowed through State pitching with 2 runs in the bottom of the 5th, 6th, 7th, and 8th innings. Starting pitcher Nick Bush and Zach Hess in a relief role each gave up 2 runs in 3 innings. Devin Fontenot stopped the bleeding and got the win. Todd Peterson earned the save. The Tigers take on Florida at 4:30 this afternoon on 1130 The Tiger. NSU begins Southland Conference tourney play at 9:30 this morning against McNeese. Louisiana Tech faces Rice in the Conference USA tourney opener this afternoon at 12:30. Houston won the closest game of the NBA's conference finals, holding off Golden State 95-92 to even the series 2-2. The Warriors used a 20-5 run over a 4-minute stretch to turn a 7-point deficit into an 8-point lead. The advantage grew to 12 early in the fourth before the Rockets rallied with a 15-2 run the night at 85-all. The Warriors missed their final 8 3-pointers. James Harden's driving layup gave Houston an 89-86 lead, and 2 minutes later, Eric Gordon hit a 3, the biggest shot of his time as a Rocket, to provide some breathing room. From the sports desk of 1130 The Tiger, this is Tim Fletcher.
Do we understand it better now?
No, I don't understand. No, I got nothing.
It's no longer an MOU.
Right.
It's
101.7 FM, 710 KEEL. Robert J. Wright and Erin McCarty. Go ahead.
Here's my confusion.
Yeah.
We're going to let the mayor do it. Okay, but then we want these 6 things.
But the mayor doesn't want to do it. She threw it back to the council.
So what now?
I mean, I certainly get Ms. Lynch's point that there's no reason for us to give this backing until you come to us, i.e. the developers.
Right.
Until you can come to, look, the cornerstone of their idea is to move a whole bunch of state employees down there, that we sort of become Baton Rouge North.
I'm going to work on that today. I'm going to call the state people and work on that today. Because they don't have the money to move.
Do they even know that this plan exists?
They do. I have talked to them about that.
More on the way, 656, 101.7 FM, 710 KEEL. Here's Rush.
According to Politico, California is about to become the first state to offer full health coverage to undocumented adults, i.e., illegal immigrants. This adds to policies that Governor Jerry Brown implemented in 2015, which granted full health care coverage to children here illegally. California already gives illegal adults free emergency room care and free pregnancy care. This costs the state a couple $2 billion a year. Now, to pull this off, California Democrats plan to simply enlarge the state's Medicare budget by another $3 billion a year. I mean, it's easy. Just say it's going to happen, I guess. Some analysts are concerned that once word gets out about the state giving away full health care benefits to illegals, that illegals from everywhere will move to California, which will drive the price even higher. But, I mean, it's only money, right? And they don't have any anyway, really. Politico says the free health care benefits for all illegals is a rebuke to Trump, and it sets up another clash between the blue states, Democrats, and the president. But they're wrong. This isn't a rebuke to Trump. It's a rebuke to the taxpayers who are going to have to bear this massive burden for yet another lunatic liberal policy. It's not going to hurt Trump at all. It's only going to hurt people that live in California. Say, folks, if you own land, I'm sure you would love to have the time to work it, develop it, spend time with it. If so, go see my good friends at Mahindra. Because for a limited time, you can get one of Mahindra's best-selling tractors, the 2555 Shuttle with loader, and get up to $9,000 off MSRP. With 55 horsepower, it's great for all of you hobby farmers. Plus, the 2555 includes an industry-leading 7-year limited powertrain warranty. Mahindra also offers a full lineup of tractors from 20 horsepower all the way up to 125 horsepower. For offer details or to learn more about the world's #1 selling tractor, visit MahindraUSA.com.
Take advantage of rock bottom prices and test drive a Mahindra today at Kelly Tractor and Equipment in Longview or visit kellytractor.net. That's kellytractor.net.
The intersection at Kings Highway and Linwood Avenue is dealing with some slow-moving traffic right now. And we have some traffic delays on Hamilton Road near Barksdale Boulevard in Bossier City. If you have anything to report to us, please give us a call at our Planet Fitness traffic hotline. That's 687-ROAD.
Your AccuWeather.com forecast. Patchy fog this morning. Otherwise, today will be partly sunny with an afternoon thunderstorm at a high of 89. Another shower or thunderstorm tonight. With your AccuWeather.com forecast, I'm meteorologist Heather Zayer.
Breaking news and trending talk. This is 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL. KEEL, Shreveport.
7:03, Robert and Erin, 101.7 FM and 710 Keel. Erin got local news, and it is next.
The Cross Bayou Project. What did the city council do? Long meeting, lots of debate. Fighting crime in our community. Some residents are hopping mad. And some funny money being passed in the area. Tell you where to look out for it.
Dare I even ask who might be our guests this hour? Do you have any? I know you're trying to track down another city council person from the meeting yesterday.
There's too much going on. I have no clue who's going to walk in this door.
Nor who might walk out.
Yeah, you're right.
Fletcher in sports, traffic, and weather, and it's all coming up this hour, and it's here on Keel.
The power of information. Keel News now.
The special session has kicked off. Speaker Taylor Barra ripped into the governor, saying he's trying to scare Louisianians into higher taxes with a little one-liner.
Earlier this week, a viral video caused a raucous debate across America. Half of America heard Yanny, the other heard Laurel. I think our governor heard taxes.
There are reports that a consensus is building around a compromise plan to renew a portion of the 1 penny sales tax that was raised 2 years ago to plug the last fiscal cliff. The Shreveport Council votes to support the mayor and her quest to develop downtown. The council voted to support the mayor's authority to move forward with the Cross Bayou project. Now, while Mayor Ollie Tyler says she fully supports any company that wants to bring jobs to the area, she does have some concerns about the project and what the GDC wants from the city. Now, Mayor Tyler says she will not sign any MOU or agreement until she feels comfortable with the GDC and what they can bring to Shreveport. She says she's not spearheading this effort. Shreveport police investigating an early morning shooting. According to reports, a man was shot just after 2 a.m. on Linwood Avenue. The victim suffered a gunshot wound to the side. His condition is unknown at this time. So far, no arrests have been made in the case. Now, many local residents have serious concerns about crime, and they want more done to stop the violence.
I feel like I'm in a war zone. And I'm asking you, how long before a plan of action is put in place to help decrease the senseless shootings and the gun ringing that we hear daily in our Cedar Grove area?
Belinda Rose lives in the Cedar Grove neighborhood and says she's tired of the violence. The Second Circuit Court of Appeal will decide whether or not to reverse a ruling made in the defamation lawsuit against Shreveport Mayor Ollie Tyler and CAO Brian Crawford. Last year, a lower court dismissed the suit brought against the city leaders by Scott Pernice and Michael Wainwright. The pair claimed Tyler and Crawford defamed their character by alleging they were crooked and blackmailing the city by asking for payment for discovering a problem with the city's water billing. Some of those comments were made on KEEL. Now, a decision is expected to be made by the end of June. 2 men wanted for passing funny money. Matt Parker with that.
2 men are wanted in Bossier for attempting to use counterfeit funds. One of the suspects was able to buy multiple items with the fake money from the Target in Bossier. The other suspect attempted to use the fake cash for a purchase at a Circle K, but the clerk was able to spot the fake. You can see pictures of the men at KeelNews.com. From 101.7 FM and 710 Keel, I'm Matt Parker.
Women have made inroads in the male-dominated cannabis business, but they still face a so-called grass ceiling as the industry grows and becomes more mainstream. Because the legal marijuana industry is so new and so far limited to just 9 states, there's not much data on women or other minorities in leadership roles. But because the industry is so new, women do see opportunities to mold it and create their own spaces within it. Mudbug Madness kicks off tomorrow afternoon at Festival Plaza. The festival celebrates Cajun culture with food, art, live music, and a whole lot more. A kickoff parade, 5K run, and opening ceremony will start the festival tomorrow at 6:30 p.m. I'm Erin McCarty on 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL.
.101.7 FM, 710 KEEL. Time for traffic. Ruben's here.
Keeping an eye right now on some slow-moving traffic on Uri Drive near Southfield Road. And we have some traffic delays on Industrial Drive near Old Minden Road in Bossier City. If you have anything to report to us, please give us a call at our Planet Fitness traffic hotline at 687-ROAD.
Your AccuWeather.com forecast. Patchy fog this morning. Otherwise, today will be partly sunny with an afternoon thunderstorm at a high of 89. Another shower or thunderstorm tonight. With your AccuWeather.com forecast, I'm meteorologist Heather Zayer.
Seven 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL. We're on video, you know.
Oh, my bad.
She just closed her mic to yawn.
I covered my mouth.
You closed your mic to yawn.
Just in case a gurgle came out.
Or a couple of Lee press-ons.
Yeah.
101.7 FM and 710 KEEL. Robert J. Wright and Erin McCarty. So, yesterday, let's try and sum this up and make it a little clearer if we can.
The non-MOU.
Let me see if I got this right. What I call the MOM, the Memorandum of Misunderstanding. Let me see if I understand.
I think I've got it
Hold
now.
on a second. Hold on. Let me try this. Okay, so yesterday, after hearing a presentation on Monday, the City Council was scheduled to vote on a non-binding Memorandum of Understanding that would have sort of given the unofficial go-ahead to Gateway Development Consortium to start putting funding together for the 10-year billion-dollar Cross Bayou Development Project. Right so far?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now, here's where it gets a little confusing. Follow along. Correct me where I come off the rails. The mayor has the authority to do the Memorandum of Understanding.
Of course, she could have done it without the council.
But for whatever reason, and we can discuss that in a moment, but for whatever reason, the mayor said, what did you say? Once bitten, twice confused.
Yep, snake bit.
Twice shot.
Mm-hmm.
for whatever reason, the mayor said to the city council, no, you guys do a memorandum of understanding.
Because
hold on,
here's
wait,
how you shot down my first plan.
Hold on. Okay, I get that, and we'll get back to this.
And I would feel the same way.
So the mayor says to the city council, I know I've got the power to do this MOU, but I am going to give that power to, I defer to you, yeah. I want you guys to do it. So in effect, what the city council did yesterday was say to the mayor, we want you, because you're the mayor, we too are going to balk at the non-binding memorandum of understanding. We're giving it back, hitting the ball back to your side of the net.
Not quite it, Robert.
But
not quite it.
But if you decide to do, meaning you, the mayor, decide to do an MOU, here's what we think you should put in it.
Kinda.
What?
Kinda.
Hence my memorandum of misunderstanding statement.
Stephanie says you must give her credit for memorandum of misunderstanding, which she called it yesterday or whatever. So you stole it from her.
So what is, well, if there's misunderstanding, I'm not the one who's leading the charge up the hill of ignorance.
This helped me a lot, and I got this text from Miss Lynch just a few minutes ago, and this may help you understand what they did. As a council,
yes,
the mayor said, I'm not taking the lead on this.
That's what I said.
So we did take the lead. Within our legislative authority, we said to the mayor, this is your authority. But since you asked us to lead the effort, here's our input. Here's what we would like to see in an MOU if you decide to move forward with GDC.
Now, what I just said?
Kinda.
That's exactly what I just said.
No, you kind of said it in Robert speak, which no one understands.
That's exactly what I said.
No,
the mayor said the mayor said I'm not going to do it. You do it. The city council said we're not going to do it. You do it because you're the mayor. But if you decide to do it, here's what we want in it.
That's kind of close.
That's exactly what I said.
That's kind of close.
Twice. Okay, so you had brought up yesterday.
And one of the things that they want in it, which is never going to happen, so this deal is dead. I'm just going to give you a heads up. They want a municipal complex commitment from the state within 1 year.
Well, understand.
The state of Louisiana is not prepared to give any kind of commitment within 1 year.
The state of Louisiana is going to be, by all reports, the cornerstone, the major tenant of whatever development there's going to be.
Yeah, and if you've been misunderstanding this memorandum of misunderstanding,
I got
that the state office building on Fairfield would be, Jordan and Fairfield would be the one moving, that would be right. But there would also be several other state agencies. They have offices on Uri Drive. They have offices in different parts of the city. So they would consolidate them all into one new building.
Give me just an estimate of how many empty buildings we would create by moving all the state workers down to Cross Bayou.
It's not going to be empty buildings because the rest of them are leases. So they would just lease to other properties. Like the probation and parole office on Uri Drive, they could move that to the new building, and whoever owns that building could lease it to someone else.
You mean like Strawn's? I mean, look, that's still empty. The point I'm making is when a tenant leaves, in this case the state, they are leaving an empty building. I mean, sure, they can lease it to somebody else, but the point is they have a lessee now, and it's the state of Louisiana.
Wouldn't you rather the state own something than pay all these leases all around town? I sure would.
Is the state of Louisiana going to own this building, or are they going to lease this building?
I don't know. I would imagine they'd make a deal to own it. I don't know.
I would imagine they would lease the building.
No, the state's not going to come here. They already own a building. They're not going to come here for another big lease. They would come here if they had some sort of ownership.
So the plan is, and I guess I misunderstood this, the plan is, to the best of your understanding or misunderstanding, that we're going to build this great big state employees complex down on Cross Bayou, and the state of Louisiana is going to buy it?
The state would buy it. Much like we did the new government plaza, where the parish commission and the city council, they combined efforts. They're all on Travis Street. They combined efforts, and it saves everybody money.
Yeah, we need to talk to lots more people about this.
And you know, the issue of race came up during this fight. It got really nasty. It was really nasty.
What was that? What does race have to do with this?
Some of the council members who voted against this were accused of, you're not providing jobs for members of the black community, and you're not working for all citizens of Shreveport. It got really.
So basically,
It was very uncomfortable.
If you think Cross Bayou is a bad idea, you're a racist. Is that basically what they said yesterday?
Kinda. It really kind of went there.
18 past 7 o'clock, 1017 FM, 710 Keel, Fletcher and sports in just a couple of seconds, plus traffic and weather just moments away, and it's here on Keel. Nineteen past 7 o'clock, time for Keel traffic. Here's Ruben.
The intersection at Line Avenue and Piermont Road's dealing with some slow-moving traffic right now. And we have some traffic delays on East Texas Street near Swan Lake Road in Bossier City. If you have anything to report to us, please give us a call at our Planet Fitness traffic hotline. That's 687-ROAD.
Your AccuWeather.com forecast. Patchy fog this morning, otherwise partly sunny today. A thunderstorm this afternoon with a high of 89. Some clouds and a shower or thunderstorm tonight. With your AccuWeather.com forecast, I'm meteorologist Heather Zayer.
1017 FM and 710 Keel in time for sports. Here's Fletch.
Good morning from the sports desk of 1130 The Tiger. This is Tim Fletcher. LSU improved their NCAA baseball tournament resume with a stirring come-from-behind 8-5 win over Mississippi State in the first round of the SEC tournament. The Tigers were a bubble team before the loser leaves town matchup with the Bulldogs, and when Paul Maneri's men trailed 3-0 after 4.5 innings. But then they plowed through State pitching with 2 runs in the bottom of the 5th, 6th, 7th, and 8th innings. Starting pitcher Nick Bush and Zach Hess in a relief role each gave up 2 runs in 3 innings. Devin Fontenot stopped the bleeding and got the win. Todd Peterson earned the save. The Tigers take on Florida at 4:30 this afternoon on 1130 The Tiger. NSU begins Southland Conference tourney play at 9:30 this morning against McNeese. Louisiana Tech faces Rice in the Conference USA tourney opener this afternoon at 12:30. Houston won the closest game of the NBA's conference finals, holding off Golden State 95-92 to even the series 2-2. The Warriors used a 20-5 run over a 4-minute stretch to turn a 7-point deficit into an 8-point lead. The advantage grew to 12 early in the fourth before the Rockets rallied with a 15-2 run the night at 85-all. The Warriors missed their final 8 3-pointers. James Harden's driving layup gave Houston an 89-86 lead, and 2 minutes later, Eric Gordon hit a 3, the biggest shot of his time as a Rocket, to provide some breathing room. From the sports desk of 1130 The Tiger, this is Tim Fletcher.
Robert J. Wright and Erin McCarty, 101.7 FM, 710 KEEL. The KEEL app, a free download from Office Furniture Source. And the Shreveport Security Systems text line is 318-392-1884. So perennial candidate Jim Talaferro's thrown his hat in the ring for the Shreveport.
He's not a perennial. He's never run for office before.
Well,
why do you keep saying that?
Because he wanted to be police chief. Now he wants to be mayor, and he just keeps throwing his hat into the ring for these various.
There's lots of people who've wanted to be police chief.
Not arguing that at all. What I'm saying is now he wants this job. So
Sure.
the article is at keelnews.com. He'll be joining us in studio in just, a little less than an hour. You wrote the article up at Keel News. What is in your story if folks want to take a look? And what, you take it from there.
Well, Jim has been longtime director of Crime Stoppers.
Right.
He's a veteran of the Navy and I think the Air Force. Spent many years in the Navy and the Air Force. Campaigns in Vietnam, 4 engagements in the global war against terror. Spent 24 years with the Shreveport Police Department.
Wait.
I know.
You know, you and I will talk occasionally about, bluntly put, about how old people look.
Oh, I know. He's amazing.
If you had told me that Jim Talaferro was old enough to have to have been in Vietnam, I would have said no way.
Yep.
I would have thought, maybe the first Iraq war if he were a combat vet.
He's about your age.
What?
He probably is.
I am that Vietnam era guy.
I'm not sure. He's been director of Crime Stoppers for many years and says he wants to be the next mayor of Shreveport. Says with a great sense of duty and service, I announce my candidacy for mayor of our great city. Our city's most valuable assets are our people, and our best days are ahead.
I see gentlemen in the hall. Shall we bring them in?
Yes, bring them
Troy,
on in.
could you bring these fellers in here right now?
This
it is
so
Keel's
cool.
top cop for the month of, is this for May or June?
This is May.
Okay, because sometimes they work ahead.
I know.
So Shreveport, Bossier, Arklatex, top cop for the month of June.
And we have
May. Hold
we
on
have dueling winners this month.
Okay, hang on a second.
They're joint winners because they were nominated together. And I'm really excited to. We're going to sneak them in earlier than they anticipated.
You guys just grab either chair.
Hi guys, come
whichever
on
one you
in.
hit first.
This is Tony Vandegrift, correct?
That's correct.
All right, and you are with the Bossier Sheriff's Department. Just scoot as close as you can to that mic, and you can pull it out to you.
As we say, Celine Dion, that baby.
And we got Buck Wilkins.
And feel free to tase Matt.
Buck is a sergeant, is that right?
Yeah, but he's not here.
He's here.
That's
he's
correct.
coming.
Is he?
Yeah, he's on the way.
Wow.
And these
Don't
are
take
some.
this- They grow them big in Bossier.
Oh my goodness! How tall are you?
Hello, Shaq.
6'8". Wow.
You just yeah.
I was
So
gonna
he
say,
raises the chair up.
We might need to get him the Cedric chair.
So our top cops for the month of May are Bossier Sheriff's Department Sergeant Buck Wilkins and Deputy Tony Vandegrift. Gentlemen, congratulations. Move that mic up to about 6'6".
Yeah. Let me read. They haven't heard this. Nobody's heard this. You haven't heard this. Let me read you what I got about you guys from one of a couple of people. This was the best one. April 19th, I received news my father-in-law had passed away at home. He'd been sick for quite a while and went home to be with the Lord. My wife has a small family, and they all showed up after they received the news. There were 2 Bossier Sheriff's deputies there when I arrived, Tony Vandegrift and Buck Wilkins. My path has crossed these 2 a few times through the school system, and it's always been on a professional basis. However, on this day, I'm getting chill bumps, I witnessed something I haven't seen. These 2 deputies became like family. They comforted my 74-year-old mother-in-law. They assured her. They told her they would stay until the end. I'm shaking. I could see what this meant to my mother-in-law, my wife, her sister, and the impact of the kindness these 2 men had. Well, it was just inspiring. The kindness, courtesy, and respect they showed my wife's family goes far and beyond what I ever expected. It made a lasting impression. Their actions made a lasting impression on the entire family. At one point, my wife's 92-year-old grandfather showed up. I mentioned to both of these deputies that, like my father, he was a World War II veteran. When their job was done, they each hugged my mother-in-law, gave their condolences to each family member, then walked over to her grandfather and shook his hand, thanking him for his service. You guys, you remember the incident?
We do.
Very well, yes.
You probably do this kind of thing all the time.
That's correct.
Nobody ever says a word. Why? Well, you're supposed to be fighting crime. You're not supposed to be crime with them.
Let me rephrase a question.
Man.
In some circuitous way, this makes it all worth it. Yes.
Well, they're going through a time that we've seen others go through. We know what they need. They need comfort. You know.
Yeah. We try to show a lot of empathy, and we try to help them through the process. People aren't obviously this is an incident that occurs very often, and a lot of times they're not familiar with what to do in that situation. And that's what we're there for. We're there to answer questions, help them out, perhaps call clergy, help them get clergy on the senior system through this time of need. We'll make contact with the coroners and any other friends or family that might need to be there to comfort the family. We'll make effort to contact them and even provide transportation to them just to help them out through the process.
Gentlemen, if you've got a couple of seconds, we need to go to break, but I'd like to find out more about you. I'm looking at Sergeant Buck's badge. It says 1994. You've been on since that's when you started?
Well, I started.
It's amazing.
Talk about a good skincare regimen.
Absolutely.
We will discuss when we return. Sergeant Buck Williams, Deputy Tony Vandegrift
Buck
Keels.
Wilkins.
Tony Vandegrift Keels, top cops for the month of May from the Bossier Sheriff's Office, and we will talk about with them more when we get back. 29 past 7 o'clock. Traffic update. Here's Ruben.
King Drive near North Market Street. And we have some traffic delays on East Texas Street near Traffic Street in Bossier City. If you have anything to report to us, please give us a call at our Planet Fitness traffic hotline. That's 687-ROAD.
Your AccuWeather.com forecast. Patchy fog this morning, otherwise partly sunny today. A thunderstorm this afternoon with a high of 89. Some clouds and a shower or thunderstorm tonight. With your AccuWeather.com forecast, I'm meteorologist Heather Zayer.
The power of information. KEEL News now.
The Shreveport Council votes to support the mayor in her quest to develop downtown. The council voted to support Ollie Tyler's authority to move forward with the Gateway Development Consortium. Now, while Mayor Tyler says she fully supports any company that wants to bring jobs, she does have some current concerns about the project and what the GDC wants from the city.
What I did not know was that there was going to be an MOU that would have expectations that the city would do a lot of the things the initial non-binding agreement had in it.
Mayor Tyler says she will not sign any MOU or agreement until she feels fully comfortable with GDC and what they can bring to our community. The special session has kicked off in Baton Rouge. Now, House Speaker Taylor Barra ripped into the governor, calling his decision to hold the speech outside of the Capitol a political stunt. Barra accusing the governor of resisting bipartisan offers and being personally responsible for legislative gridlock of the regular session.
The governor did everything possible to disrupt the process, including sending a fake eviction letter to tens of thousands of seniors in nursing homes. Threats and theatrics will not cause us to raise any new taxes.
The session has to end June 4th. Appeals court to revisit the suit against the mayor and the CAO. The Second Circuit Court of Appeal will decide whether or not to reverse a ruling made in the defamation suit against the two. Last year, a lower court dismissed the suit brought against the city leaders by Scott Pernice and Michael Wainwright. Two men wanted in Bossier for trying to use counterfeit money. One of the suspects bought some items at the Target in Bossier. The other tried to use the phony cash for a purchase at Circle K, but the clerk was able to spot the fakes. It's almost time for Mudbug Madness. Matt Parker with that.
Mudbug Madness will kick off tomorrow afternoon at Festival Plaza in downtown Shreveport. The festival celebrates Cajun culture with food, art, live music, and a whole lot more. A kickoff parade, 5K run, and opening ceremony will start the festival tomorrow at 6:30 p.m. The event will run through May 27th. From 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL, I'm Matt Parker.
Police investigating an early morning shooting in Shreveport. According to reports, a man was shot just after 2 a.m. on Linwood Avenue. The victim suffered a gunshot wound to the side. His condition is unknown at this time. So far, no arrests have been made in the case. Alabama authorities investigating a Facebook video posted by a prison inmate showing two prisoners forcing a third at knife point to bend over for a spanking. Alabama.com reports the video posted shows a 26-year-old St. Clair County correctional inmate holding a paddle and hitting an older inmate while another inmate is holding a knife. I'm Erin McCarty on 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL.
It'll be awesome. First prize, top cop end of the year, off to Hawaii for a volcano tour. It'll be great. Golf
That's
vacations.
not what we're
They're giving away those golf vacations.
Oh, my goodness.
101.7 FM and 710 KEEL. Robert J. Wright and Erin McCarty in studio. Our top cops for the month of May.
And we're just doing this to shine a light on you guys.
From the Bossier Parish Sheriff's Department, Sergeant Buck Wilkins and Deputy Tony Vandegrift. 20, I'm looking at your badge. I assume that's your year of origin, as it were.
Yes,
1994.
February of 94.
You must have been a kid, huh? And I mean,
24 years old.
Oh, my goodness. Now, was that a lifetime calling for you? Was it something, or was it sort of like radio for me, I got nowhere else to go?
No, I've had several relatives in law enforcement.
Yeah.
At the time, I was testing pipeline all over the United States, and my cousin was running a jail, Mr. Mark Pilkington. He's a distant cousin by marriage, and he asked me to come to work for the sheriff's department, and I said, no, I can't quit my job. I'm making too much money. And I got laid off January the 1st of 1994.
Looked a little better, didn't it?
And I made an appointment to come see the sheriff. And,
so we had mentioned this when you first came in, Sergeant Wilkins, and you are 6'8".
Yes, sir.
And probably, I would say, 175 or 80 pounds, just that the vest bulks you up a little bit.
That's right.
Is that right?
That's right, I wish.
Now, Deputy Tony, this is
like
not
a second career for you.
This is not your first career, law enforcement.
That's correct. I had a prior career. I was in medical field.
Yeah.
And
but you had said
medicine.
your whole life what you had really wanted to do. What sort of waylaid the dream, as it were?
I've always wanted to serve my community, and I thought about military and law enforcement. And it's kind of a childhood dream of mine. And after practicing medicine for 7 years, I decided I was finally in a situation financially where I could transition and pursue something I've always wanted to pursue all my life, and that was in law enforcement. And
wow!
And I've had no regrets. It's been a calling and wonderful opportunity.
Well, guys, I can't thank you enough for all you do. We always hear about, when an officer goes wrong or does something bad. We thought we'd shine a spotlight on you for doing some great things out there that nobody ever hears
Not
about.
only a great job in that single instance where you brought such comfort and dare I say peace to a lot of people in pain, but just for being out there every day and making this a safer and better place. Gentlemen, congratulations and thank you. 101.7 FM, 710 Keel, 739. Shreveport City Councilman Michael Corbin is coming up next.
He was called everything but a great papa yesterday.
Probably a memorandum of misunderstanding.
Maybe, yeah.
Right now, traffic update. Here's Ruben.
The intersection of West Burtcoon's Industrial Loop and Linwood Avenue is dealing with some slow-moving traffic right now. And we have some traffic delays on Westgate Drive near Barksdale Boulevard in Bossier City. If you have anything to report to us, please give us a call at our Planet Fitness traffic hotline. That's 687-ROAD.
Your AccuWeather.com forecast. Patchy fog this morning, otherwise partly sunny today. A thunderstorm this afternoon with a high of 89. Some clouds and a shower or thunderstorm tonight. With your AccuWeather.com forecast, I'm meteorologist Heather Zayer.
.742, it's 101.7 FM and 710 Keel. Robert J. Wright and Erin McCarty. Joining us for a moment or two is Shreveport City Councilman Michael Corbin. Hey, Mr. Mike, how you been? Thanks for taking time for us.
Good morning, Robert and Erin. How are y'all today?
Okay, so
Michael, they were mean to you yesterday.
It was a bad day yesterday.
It was brutal. You voted against this memorandum of misunderstanding.
the mom, as we've now referred to it.
I like it.
What was your reasoning for a no vote, even though it really was kind of thrown back to the mayor?
Well, there was a lot of things that went on. There was an amendment that came out at the last minute, and I know I, as a council person, did not even see that amendment until we got into the meeting. The public had no chance to see it, and there was no opportunity for public discussion on it. I think if you ask all 7 council members what happened yesterday, my fear is you may get 4 or 5 different versions of what happened.
Excuse me, Mr. Mike, we're talking about the Stephanie Lynch sort of
Willie Bradford amendment, yeah.
6 amendments that sort of replaced the original MOU, right?
Right.
It was one amendment asking for 6 things to be done before the mayor signs an MOU. Is that fair?
That was the way it was explained, that there were 6 milestones. If the development group met these milestones, then we'd go to the next step. My issue is that all the documentation that was presented to the council during the meeting still referred to an MOU, and since day one, the mayor has said, I have no intention of signing an MOU. I'm not comfortable with this. So doing some sort of a symbolic resolution that has no power just did not make any sense to me.
Michael, we're talking to Councilman Michael Corbin, and I'm going to be honest with you, Michael. There were points during the meeting yesterday I was watching where I was squirming. One of them was when Pastor Mays got up and essentially called you a racist, saying you do not represent your entire district, you do not represent African Americans because you're not for jobs, because you were voting against this, you were racist. Is that what I heard?
Yeah, it's interesting that Pastor Mays knew how I was going to vote well before the vote, so somebody must have given him some information. But that comes with the job. People have the ability to come up and give their opinions. I personally think he went over the line a little bit, but I'm a big boy. I can take that. And I said in the meeting yesterday, I understand the need to develop Cross Bayou, and I would like to look at being in a position to put out an RFP for developers or to bring a number of people in who have experience in the field, and let's look at some options. I don't think we're together on that yet. I don't think we're at that place to do it yet. But the vote's what it is. We'll see what the next step and what the fallout is.
Mr. Mike, I'm assuming that you were there on Monday for the presentation from the Janus folks from New York. How did that look to you? What are your thoughts about their ideas for this $1 billion development?
Well, we really heard more about what they've done in New York and not a lot about what they've done here. When you talk about adding 5,000 housing units to Cross Bayou, just think about that a little bit.
That's like plain dealing, man.
Oh, that's probably bigger than plain dealing. And so what neighborhood are you going to empty out? Some things you can say build it and they will come. Until we can address economic issues, until we can have jobs, and we have people coming to Shreveport, I see that 5,000 housing units would do one of two things. They would sit empty and depreciate, or they would clear out a neighborhood like Broadmoor or Ledbetter Heights or Allendale, wherever the people come from. It would wipe out a neighborhood.
That has been my concern as far as the state building goes also, in the sense that we're just talking about moving state employees from Fairfield and Jordan, from Erie Drive, from a bunch of other places to a central location at Cross Bayou, but we're just shifting. We're just moving. We're leaving empty buildings behind, be they rentals or be they owned. Is that fair?
Well, we have a long history of just kind of moving the same nuts around in Shreveport. We want people to be at the Red River District. We want people to be on the riverfront. We want people to be at Shreveport Commons and here and there, and now Cross Bayou. We don't have enough nuts to move around, and that's kind of the issue to me. Bigger issue is no one from the state level has admitted that they're interested in going into a lease purchase or moving the state building. And to me, there were some inferences Monday at work session about maybe that municipal plaza may be for the city and or parish. And there's been absolutely no discussion about that I'm aware of.
What or as part of the presentation, because what they've been sort of vague about to this point is what exactly it is that Gateway Development Consortium, what GDC wants from the city. Did you get any? Did that become any more clear at either meeting?
Not really. When you say infrastructure, that can mean a lot of things. 2 weeks ago, I said I was not, at this point at least, in support of the city providing infrastructure for a proposed development. We don't do it for residential developments and other things going on in town. And, it would have to be something stellar before I would change my mind on that. And that seemed to be a hot topic the past 2 weeks with a few people, that they didn't like those comments. But, we have to get to the point where somebody has money in hand and a true development plan, and then we can start talking about the details.
Talking to Councilman Michael Corbin, let me ask you, the 6 points that were put in this amendment, are these binding? Can the mayor just sign an MOU without does this have any teeth to it? Did what you guys do, was it a waste of time?
I think it has no teeth. and I think a lot of oxygen was burned yesterday for no particular purpose. You know, the council cannot force the mayor to sign something, and I made comments yesterday. This whole process is backwards. Normally, a developer or a group would come to the administration, present a plan. If administration liked it, they would bring it to council, and we would begin to talk about it, discuss it, form our opinions, and come up with a plan to move forward. This has been totally backwards. Now, you know, there's some discussion that maybe they went to the mayor said no thanks, and so it landed at council. But either way, the process, there is a process, and we're not following it.
Councilman Michael Corbin, thank you so much for your time. I'm sure we'll talk again.
Thanks. Y'all have a great day.
749, 101.7 FM, 710 Keel. Here's Ruben.
The intersection of West Burcoon's Industrial Loop and Linwood Avenues dealing with some slow-moving traffic right now. And we have some traffic delays on Westgate Drive near Barksdale Boulevard in Bossier City. If you have anything to report to us, please give us a call at our Planet Fitness traffic hotline. That's 687-ROAD.
KeelAccuWeather.com forecast, kind to cloudy, small chance of late-day rain. High today near 90, 73.
.101.7 FM, 710 Keel. Let's check in with Timmy.
Good morning from the sports desk of 1130 The Tiger. This is Tim Fletcher. LSU improved their NCAA baseball tournament resume with a stirring come-from-behind 8-5 win over Mississippi State in the first round of the SEC tournament. The Tigers were a bubble team before the loser leaves town matchup with the Bulldogs, and when Paul Maneri's men trailed 3-0 after 4.5 innings. But then they plowed through State pitching with 2 runs in the bottom of the 5th, 6th, 7th, and 8th innings. Starting pitcher Nick Bush and Zach Hess in a relief role each gave up 2 runs in 3 innings. Devin Fontenot stopped the bleeding and got the win. Todd Peterson earned the save. The Tigers take on Florida at 4:30 this afternoon on 1130 The Tiger. NSU begins Southland Conference tourney play at 9:30 this morning against McNeese. Louisiana Tech faces Rice in the Conference USA tourney opener this afternoon at 12:30. Houston won the closest game of the NBA's conference finals, holding off Golden State 95-92 to even the series 2-2. The Warriors used a 20-5 run over a 4-minute stretch to turn a 7-point deficit into an 8-point lead. The advantage grew to 12 early in the 4th before the Rockets rallied with a 15-2 run the night at 85-all. The Warriors missed their final 8 3-pointers. James Harden's driving layup gave Houston an 89-86 lead, and 2 minutes later, Eric Gordon hit a 3, the biggest shot of his time as a Rocket, to provide some breathing room. From the sports desk of 1130 The Tiger, this is Tim Fletcher.
they do that? Would an eye doctor come in and do our eye exams in studio?
An optometrist or an ophthalmologist?
I don't care.
It's, better, worse, better, worse. Well, Robert definitely looks worse. 755, 1017 FM, 710 KEEL. Robert J. Wright and Erin McCarty in studio just after 8 o'clock this morning is mayoral candidate Jim Talaferro, Crime Stoppers guy. See what he thinks.
Yep.
And how, now, wait a second. Your over-under for mayoral candidates, and you have said this a couple of times, you said you said 10. I don't think it's going to be.
There might be. There's going to be over 6, easy.
Well,
we're already over 6, aren't we?
There's probably going to be 10.
Okay, name the candidates right now.
Okay.
Talaferro, Leo Savage, John Paul Young, the guy from New Orleans who was the ex-military guy, Tony Fox.
I thought it was Chris something. I don't know.
It's the guy from New Orleans who is from here, went to Captain Shreve, and I'm not talking about
Adrian Perkins.
Okay, Adrian Perkins is 5.
5. Ollie Tyler,
is
6.
6. Stephen Jackson is unannounced.
7.
That
Jerry Bowman would be
7
8.
if he announces.
We're missing somebody too.
Erin McCarty will be 9.
Ken Kreft is he's working on getting his number signed.
7:57. Here's Hannity on KEEL.
The truth and nothing but. This is the Sean Hannity Morning Minute.
All right, so the blue wave Democrats have been dreaming about for the 2018 midterm elections, it's continuing to fizzle out. Remember, early in the year, they were up 17 points in the generic ballot polling. The latest Reuters poll now shows more people would vote for a Republican during the midterms than a Democrat. Federalist points out of 1,139 surveyed, 40.4% said they'd vote for the Republican in their district in November. Well, that's up from 32.4% surveyed in December. There's one poll that had Republicans down 17%. Now, by the way, only 34% of respondents planned on voting for a Democrat in their district in the upcoming election. And that's down a whopping 11 points. And it's a major 6-point swing. Now, the huge news has been virtually ignored by your left-wing hate Trump media.
Keeping you on the straight path. Later today, it's the Sean Hannity Show.
Hi, I'm Jay Farner, CEO of Quicken Loans. I believe buying a home is almost always a better idea than renting. But if the fear of a big down payment is holding you back, I've got some good news. Today, the average down payment for first-time home buyers is a lot less than 20%. And here's the best part. Our mortgage experts at Quicken Loans can help you find a variety of mortgage options that may require as little as 3% down. Now add to that Rocket Mortgage. It gives you a solid approval in as few as 8 minutes, which will give you an edge over other buyers. Here's something else to consider. For 8 years in a row now, J.D. Power has ranked Quicken Loans highest in the nation in customer satisfaction for primary mortgage origination. So don't let the fear of a high down payment hold you back. Call America's largest mortgage lender at 800-QUICKEN or go to rocketmortgage.com. That's 800-QUICKEN.
Based on Rocket Mortgage data in comparison to public data records. For J.D. Power award information, visit jdpower.com. Call for cost information and conditions. Equal housing lender. Licensed in all 50 states. NMLS number 3030. Results may vary.
Looking right now at some backed up traffic on I-20 westbound, starting at Spring and Market. It's backed up past Airline Drive right now. And we have some traffic delays on Benton Road, just north of I-220 in Bossier City. If you have anything to report to us, please give us a call at our Planet Fitness traffic hotline. That's 687-ROAD.
Your AccuWeather.com forecast. Patchy fog this morning. Otherwise, today will be partly sunny with an afternoon thunderstorm at a high of 89. Another shower or thunderstorm tonight. With your AccuWeather.com forecast, I'm meteorologist Heather Zayer.
Breaking news and trending talk. This is 1017 FM and 710 KEEL. KEEL, Shreveport.
Good morning. It's 8:03. Robert and Erin, 101.7 FM, 710 Keel. Miss Erin, local news, getting ready right now.
The Memorandum of Understanding. How much do you understand about it? We'll tell you a little more. More violence in Shreveport overnight. We'll have a look at that. And a power outage in one neighborhood.
Was yesterday's... This is so complicated. Luckily, Paul Pratt from Gateway Development Consortium joins us in just about 40 minutes to attempt to clarify the latest moves by the city council.
Yeah.
Maybe.
1,
2, 3, 4, 5, 6. If everybody we think is going to get into the mayor's race gets in, there will be 8 candidates. So we're too short for you to win the bet. When you get in, it'll be 9. When Matt runs, it'll be 10, and he lives in Bossier Parish.
I'm not getting in.
I think you should. It's never too late. 3 past 8. Fletcher in sports and traffic and weather, and it's all coming up this hour, and it's here on Keel.
The power of information. KEEL News now.
The Cross Bayou development takes the next step forward. After heated debate, the council votes to approve a resolution to support the mayor's authority to move forward with the project. Councilwoman Stephanie Lynch says the vote, with all the politics out of the way, is all about developing downtown. Mayor Tyler says while she's not leading the charge or pushing this particular development, she fully supports anyone that can make our city better and bring jobs.
And I told them that I fully support any developer that comes in and develop Cross Bayou. Bring in jobs, bring in, activities downtown that will promote growth, but I would never lead the effort. I made that clear, Councilman Bowman. Very clear.
Paul Pratt from GDC says if things come together the way he hopes, they could break ground on the development within 18 months. Shreveport police investigating an early morning shooting. According to reports, a man was shot just after 2 a.m. on Linwood Avenue. The victim suffered a gunshot wound to the side. His condition unknown at this time. So far, no arrests have been made. Now, on the crime front, many local residents are very frustrated. Belinda Rose told the council it's time to take some innovative steps to end the violence.
Now, I stand before you on behalf of the elders in my area and the children. We have many retired people who have done their duty, I feel, and I respect that. But they have to listen at the gun violence on a constant basis.
Rose lives in the Cedar Grove community. 2 men wanted in Bossier for attempting to use counterfeit bills. One was able to buy several items at the Target in Bossier. The other suspect attempted to use the fake money for a purchase at Circle K, but the clerk was able to spot the fake. You can see pictures of the men at KEELnews.com. An appeals court to revisit the lawsuit against the mayor and the CAO. Matt Parker with that.
The Louisiana Second Circuit Court of Appeal will decide whether or not to reverse a ruling made in the defamation suit against Shreveport Mayor Ollie Tyler and City CAO Brian Crawford. Last year, a lower court dismissed the suit brought against the city leaders by Scott Pernice and Michael Wainwright. The pair claimed Tyler and Crawford defamed their character by alleging they were crooked and blackmailing the city by asking for payment for discovering a problem with the city's water billing. A decision is expected to be made in the case by the end of June. From 101.7 FM and 710 Keel, I'm Matt Parker.
The special session is on, but LAPolitics.com publisher Jeremy Alford says don't expect the deal to be reached anytime soon.
Negotiations, if they have started in earnest, are obviously starting late. Quite frankly, inside the rails, lawmakers are already talking about another special session. That is a very distinct possibility.
This special session is set to run until June 4th. Roughly 800 people in Shreveport were without power early today, according to SWEPCO. A major outage hit areas between Milam and Exposition. However, crews were able to make the repairs and restore power to most. The U.S. and South Korea trying to keep the highly anticipated U.S. summit with North Korea on track, even after President Trump abruptly said there's a very substantial chance it won't happen as scheduled. Amazon now using a facial recognition tool, and the company's made the technology available to police agencies. It lets authorities ID people in videos, then follow their movements almost instantly. The ACLU and other groups have asked Amazon to stop marketing recognition to government agencies. The 35th annual Mudbug Madness Festival kicking off tomorrow afternoon at Festival Plaza. It celebrates Cajun culture with food, art, live music, and lots more. There's a kickoff parade, a 5K run, and opening ceremony will start the festival tomorrow at 6:30 p.m. The event runs through May 27th. I'm Erin McCarty on 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL.
Ten past 8 o'clock, 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL traffic update. Here's, no, just kidding. Here's Ruben.
Looking right now at some backed up traffic on I-20 westbound, starting at Spring and Market. It's backed up past Airline Drive right now. And we have some traffic delays on Benton Road, just north of I-220 in Bossier City. If you have anything to report to us, please give us a call at our Planet Fitness traffic hotline. That's 687-ROAD.
Your AccuWeather.com forecast. Patchy fog this morning. Otherwise, today will be partly sunny with an afternoon thunderstorm at a high of 89. Another shower or thunderstorm tonight. With your AccuWeather.com forecast, I'm meteorologist Heather Zaire.
Hey, Dalton Gould, word's out that at Louisiana.
Wait, you got hit with a pipe in San Diego?
Well, it was not copping out there.
What a hell of a way to start a mayoral campaign.
I know, they took me to the ER.
101.7 FM and 710 KEEL. Robert J. Wright and Erin McCarty. It's 12 past 8 o'clock. Shreveport's newest mayoral candidate. Now we're up to about 145. And it's Jim Talaferro. Welcome. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
I started to ask you, because we've known each other a long time. You've known
all
Erin
of my career.
For,
yours, most.
I said, when was the last time you were clean-shaven? Because
right.
you have sported the rather dapper
Mustache.
David Niven-esque mustache for some time.
Thank you very much. Yeah.
You're very
Errol
welcome.
Flynn, maybe.
When was the last time you were clean-shaven? High school or even...
Yes.
Really?
high school.
Really?
You know, the only time I was almost clean shaven is when I got smacked in the mouth when I was doing law enforcement, and I went to the ER, and they shaved half of my mustache to stitch my lip.
Oh, that's a sexy look.
And they didn't tell me.
Oh.
So I'm walking out thinking I'm just cool. You know, so I got the war wound.
Your
hands,
hands,
so I'm half of a mustache.
Half a stash.
Your hands in the ring. Tell me why.
You know, I think one of the biggest things that our city is looking for, the people that we serve, is direction. I think one of the things that they look for is who's going to be the tip of the spear, who's going to stand point, who's going to be in the ring for them, who's going to champion the cause for what they need on a day-to-day basis. You know, politics is something that is sometimes it's so abstract, and you know, my thing is all about public service. I've been a public service guy just about all my life. I grew up in public service, and my dad was military. I was military. Obviously,
Erin said you were Navy and Air Force. Is
yeah,
that
I just
legit?
couldn't get enough of public service kind of
Man.
stuff. You know, I joined the Navy because I was an Air Force brat. So, you know,
you joined the Navy.
So I joined the Navy. I told my dad, I says, no offense, Dad, but, you know, at the time when I joined was 71, the Navy had really good education. And I was not a college guy. So I said, I need to get some education. So I went to the Navy thinking, you know, when I joined, Vietnam was still rocking and rolling,
You know,
and I didn't want to be a ground pounder.
Erin had mentioned you were are you a Vietnam vet? Were
I
you
am.
in
Yeah.
that theater?
Yes, I did 2 tours. I did 2 campaigns.
Because honestly, we were
actions.
talking about it off the air. I said he can't be that old.
Yeah,
because
I
you
am
and I
that
are about
old.
the same
you know,
age.
I had a millennial text says, "Oh, you are old. I didn't know how old you were until you told me about Vietnam." And I'm saying, yeah.
Oh,
Now,
man.
I don't make any claims that I'm like the ground pounders, the Marines, and so forth. I was offshore. I was Navy. I was a brown water kind of guy. I was on minesweepers, so there's my niche for.
You were there, amigo. So thank you very much.
Well, no, it's a privilege to serve. It always
And then
has been.
coming out of the military, you joined the Shreveport Police Department. You spent 20-plus years there.
24 years with the Shreveport Police Department, approximately 10 years with the San Diego Police Department. After I got out of the Navy, I just got tired of being deployed. So I thought I need to get some ground underneath me, and so that's how I started my public service.
Let me dig into something you said in your
sure.
announcement. You
Yeah.
said, I am optimistic about the real change that we can bring to Shreveport.
Very much so.
And the opportunity to make our city much safer and prosperous.
Yes.
What kind of change will Jim Talaferro bring to Shreveport?
Tell me about prosperity.
Sure. Well, you know, the way I look at it is I talk to the NLEP, and people don't realize that Shreveport is not just Shreveport, the city. Shreveport is the capital of the Arklatex. I mean, no other city has what we have. No other city has, within 2.5, 3 hours, the things that we have, and we need to start promoting those a whole bunch more.
Like what?
Okay, so we are a hub of manufacturing. We are a hub of distribution. We are a hub of technology. We have call centers right here in, River City, as they say, right here in Shreveport that people don't even know about because they're so well hidden. So we have the infrastructure in technology, manufacturing, packaging, distribution right here. I mean, the way that we're connected with I-49, I-20. I mean, it's just a hub that we need to be promoting. And so if you had the cure for cancer and nobody said anything, it would be a travesty. So I think we need to market ourselves better. I think that we need to have more buy-in to who we really are. I think we need to rebrand ourselves on being greater than we are our circumstances. I mean, I'm really optimistic because I love Shreveport. And the reason, one of the things that I got in the race is my daughter in probably November, maybe December, she says, "Dad, why is everybody down on Shreveport?" And I said, "Tell me what you mean, baby." She says, "Well, all my friends they say Shreveport, you can't do anything in Shreveport. There's nothing to do. It's this, it's that." I says, they are just parroting what their parents are saying to them.
One more Jim quote.
Yeah.
Shreveport's been headed in the wrong direction for too long because we focused on slogans rather than results.
That's right.
Well, that sounds like a slogan.
It is a slogan, but the point is that the point of the slogan, bringing attention to the slogan, is the fact that, let's get off the rhetoric. Let's talk about real life issues. We have our public, the people that depend on our government to provide them with basic needs. Maslow's hierarchy of needs. The first one is the food, shelter, and so forth. And then the second one is safety and security. Safety and security. And if you don't establish safety and security and give them an opportunity to live in an environment where they're not worried about when they send their kids to school, they're not worried about going into an empty parking lot, they're not worried about crime, our statistics need to be lower than they are. I agree with that. So the point is that if you don't deal with safety and security, then everything else above that is kind of a moot point. Because I'm not going to be willing to stay in Shreveport because I don't feel safe and secure. I'm not going to be willing to operate a business or open a business or be involved in my community or going down the riverfront or invest in Mudbug. I'm not going to be willing to go out because I don't feel safe and secure. I don't live in a gated community. I mean, and even a gated community is a misnomer, because how many people travel in a gated community? It's a false sense of security as well. Now, I'm not saying that we have all the answers, but, we just need to kind of reinvest in our police department, rebrand our police department, use technology that is effective in other cities like Detroit, Chicago, Phoenix, and I can go on and on. So utilizing technology to help our law enforcement officers is paramount.
Can you stay with us? Because I want to ask you more about crime fighting.
Oh, yeah.
And more about bringing jobs. And, of course,
Sure.
we've got to talk Cross Bayou with you.
More with mayoral candidate Jim Taliaferro just a couple of seconds away, 19 past 8 o'clock, 101.7 FM, 710 KEEL. Ruben's here, traffic update.
Keeping an eye right now on some backed up traffic on I-220 westbound near North Market due to construction. And we have some traffic delays on Shed Road near Airline Drive in Bossier City. If you have anything to report to us, please give us a call at our Planet Fitness traffic hotline. That's 687-ROAD.
Your AccuWeather.com forecast. Patchy fog this morning, otherwise partly sunny today. A thunderstorm this afternoon with a high of 89. Some clouds and a shower or thunderstorm tonight. With your AccuWeather.com forecast, I'm meteorologist Heather Zaire.
Twenty-one past 8 o'clock, KEEL Sports.
Good morning from the sports desk of 1130 The Tiger. This is Tim Fletcher. LSU improved their NCAA baseball tournament resume with a stirring come-from-behind 8-5 win over Mississippi State in the first round of the SEC tournament. The Tigers were a bubble team before the loser leaves town matchup with the Bulldogs, and when Paul Maneri's men trailed 3-0 after 4.5 innings. But then they plowed through State pitching with 2 runs in the bottom of the 5th, 6th, 7th, and 8th innings. Starting pitcher Nick Bush and Zach Hess in a relief role each gave up 2 runs in 3 innings. Devin Fontenot stopped the bleeding and got the win. Todd Peterson earned the save. The Tigers take on Florida at 4:30 this afternoon on 1130 The Tiger. NSU begins Southland Conference tourney play at 9:30 this morning against McNeese. Louisiana Tech faces Rice in the Conference USA tourney opener this afternoon at 12:30. Houston won the closest game of the NBA's conference finals, holding off Golden State 95-92 to even the series 2-2. The Warriors used a 20-5 run over a 4-minute stretch to turn a 7-point deficit into an 8-point lead. The advantage grew to 12 early in the fourth before the Rockets rallied with a 15-2 run the night at 85-all. The Warriors missed their final 8 3-pointers. James Harden's driving layup gave Houston an 89-86 lead, and 2 minutes later, Eric Gordon hit a 3, the biggest shot of his time as a Rocket, to provide some breathing room. From the sports desk of 1130 The Tiger, this is Tim Fletcher.
24 past 8, Robert J. Wright and Erin McCarty, 101.7 FM and 710 Keel. Shreveport's newest mayoral candidate, Jim Taliaferro, is here. Okay, your question.
All
Knock
right.
one out of the park, kids.
I've got 3 on my list that we talked about.
One at a time.
Let's go police.
Oh, let's go.
Talk about the sheriff's now helping. There was some reticence to do that or resistance to do that. What does Jim Taliaferro as mayor do to stop this crime problem or this perception?
Let's talk
of
about
a
perception.
crime problem.
Absolutely. You know that it's my belief that the police department are not sociologists. They're not psychologists. We're going to have violent crime. 2,000 years says we're always going to have violent crime. We cannot legislate or protect or address what's in a man's heart. If I'm going to shoot you in that parking lot with those 3 officers that I just met, I'm going to shoot you in that parking lot, and there's nothing you can do to stop me. What we can address are the crimes that we really have control over, saturating a specific area. Let's talk about Steve Prater stepping up and offering some assistance to the Shreveport Police Department. Many of you know back in 1990, we had a gang issue. I was there. Crips, Bloods, Bottom Boys, you name it. We
had a pretty massive riot in 88.
It was the OK Corral every night. Okay, Fannin and Douglas, I remember, where Mary Street and so forth and so on. Well, who reached out for help? Steve Prater. Steve Prater got everybody with a badge, everybody that wore a robe, everybody that had anything to do with, and I'm not saying it's just Steve, this is a collaboration, anyone that had anything to do with the judicial system. So I was just part of the mix. The whole idea was to arrest and fast track these people to incarceration. It worked well, cleaned it up. So where do we get off that asking for help is somehow an embarrassment? Where do we say to our children, don't ask me for help because that's an embarrassing thing to ask for?
Police officers are telling us, though, this is telling, we let us do our job and we can do this. Now you're going to call the sheriff in to help?
No.
That makes us look like we're not competent.
That's not true. I think that it does it makes you look like you're very competent when you ask for help. It makes you look like, this could be a bigger problem that we need to. The most important thing is you get a handle on it, and then you start managing it.
What about those who say, take the cuffs off us, let us do our jobs? Police, SPD's not letting us do our job.
I don't know about the SPD part. I know about law enforcement officers and how they think. We are responsible for doing a job. Do not take the handcuffs off us and let us do our job. Sometimes, and nowadays, with social media, we are so concerned, and rightfully so, we are so concerned as law enforcement officers that everything's going to be used against us. That people are always, obviously, with the video and so forth, they're micromanaging our every action, where before it wouldn't have been that big of a deal. Yes, crime is an ugly business, and you have to understand it is an ugly business. And I told Mayor Tyre that this is an ugly business, and sometimes it doesn't look good on YouTube. Sometimes it doesn't look good on Facebook Live.
We've got to switch gears to the
ahead.
Cross Bayou project.
Oh, boy.
What does Jim Taliaferro do with that?
Cross Bayou, and I do have a little bit more research to do, obviously, and from attending the city council meeting last night, it seems like there's still a lot of confusion on that. I'm all about development. I'm all about building the future, because where do I want to see Shreveport in 5, 10, and 15 years, even when I'm gone? I think that just because we have one developer doesn't mean that we can't entertain having multiple developers saying, this is my vision, and then we take a look at it. If the mayor, whomever that may be, says, oh, I really like these projects, let's take a look at it, and gives it to the city council, let's take a look at it. To say that we're going to go invest in a project now when we have so many other things that are quality of life issues that we need and we must address for the people that really don't have an interest in Cross Bayou. They just have an interest in making it from day to day. Safety and security, making sure my streets are correct or paved or navigable. So there's so many quality of life issues that we need to address to give our citizens a sense of pride before we start looking into another project that is just still on the drawing board and still has a lot of questions.
Jim Taliaferro, thank you so much for coming in.
You guys are a dream. Thanks
I'm sure we're
letting me hang out
If
with
I
you.
had to describe Erin in one word, that's odd you would mention that. What an amazing coincidence. I would say, what was that word again?
Well, I said dream.
Yeah.
But I kind of included all of you in that.
Yeah, thank you very much.
You too, Matt.
It's a 90-10 thing.
It is. Okay, whatever.
Thank you, sir.
Whatever
Good to
works
see you.
for you.
29 past
Thanks
8
so
o'clock,
much.
1017 FM, 710 Keel. Paul Pratt, Gateway Development Consortium in just about 10 minutes. Do we have Ms. Matthews from Mudbug Madness on the way
We absolutely do.
Right now, traffic update. Here's Ruben. He's on Keel.
Still keeping an eye on some slow-moving traffic on Texas Street in downtown Shreveport, and we have some traffic delays on Miller Road near Industrial Drive in Bossier City. If you have anything to report to us, please give us a call at our Planet Fitness traffic hotline, 687-ROAD.
Your AccuWeather.com forecast. Patchy fog this morning, otherwise partly sunny today. A thunderstorm this afternoon with a high of 89. Some clouds and a shower or thunderstorm tonight. With your AccuWeather.com forecast, I'm meteorologist Heather Zayer.
The power of information. KEEL News now.
The Shreveport Council votes to support the mayor in her quest to develop downtown. The council voted to support Ollie Tyler's authority to move forward with the Gateway Development Consortium. Now, while Mayor Tyler says she fully supports any company that wants to bring jobs, she does have some current concerns about the project and what the GDC wants from the city.
What I did not know was that there was going to be an MOU that would have expectations that the city would do a lot of the things the initial non-binding agreement had in it.
Mayor Tyler says she will not sign any MOU or agreement until she feels fully comfortable with GDC and what they can bring to our community. The special session has kicked off in Baton Rouge. Now, House Speaker Taylor Barra ripped into the governor, calling his decision to hold the speech outside of the Capitol a political stunt. Barra accusing the governor of resisting bipartisan offers and being personally responsible for legislative gridlock of the regular session.
The governor did everything possible to disrupt the process, including sending a fake eviction letter to tens of thousands of seniors in nursing homes. Threats and theatrics will not cause us to raise any new taxes.
The session has to end June 4th. Appeals court to revisit the suit against the mayor and the CAO. The Second Circuit Court of Appeal will decide whether or not to reverse a ruling made in the defamation suit against the two. Last year, a lower court dismissed the suit brought against the city leaders by Scott Pernice and Michael Wainwright. Two men wanted in Bossier for trying to use counterfeit money. One of the suspects bought some items at the Target in Bossier. The other tried to use the phony cash for a purchase at Circle K, but the clerk was able to spot the fakes. It's almost time for Mudbug Madness. Matt Parker with that.
Mudbug Madness will kick off tomorrow afternoon at Festival Plaza in downtown Shreveport. The festival celebrates Cajun culture with food, art, live music, and a whole lot more. A kickoff parade, 5K run, and opening ceremony will start the festival tomorrow at 6:30 p.m. The event will run through May 27th. From 101.7 FM and 710 Keel, I'm Matt Parker.
Police investigating an early morning shooting in Shreveport. According to reports, a man was shot just after 2 a.m. on Linwood Avenue. The victim suffered a gunshot wound to the side. His condition is unknown at this time. So far, no arrests have been made in the case. Alabama authorities investigating a Facebook video posted by a prison inmate showing two prisoners forcing a third at knife point to bend over for a spanking. Alabama.com reports the video posted shows a 26-year-old St. Clair County correctional inmate holding a paddle and hitting an older inmate while another inmate is holding a knife. I'm Erin McCarty on 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL.
Brought to you by AVC.
Hang on just a second because Miss Terry is on hold.
I'm getting a little fired up, too. I just want to tell you.
101.7 FM and 710 KEEL. Robert J. Wright and Erin McCarty. Terry Matthews. Mudbug Madness kicks off tomorrow. Hey, Miss Terry, how are you?
I'm good. How are you guys?
Okay, well, we're during the break, and Erin said the following, and I'm not making this up.
I'm
She
sorry,
says,
Terry. There was some foul language.
Well, we'll
edit that out.
Terry never swears.
Okay.
You can count on me to tell you the truth on that one.
Okay.
Right, T? Yo.
Right.
So the point I was going to make was we're in the break, and Erin says, I've been to Breaux Bridge Crawfish Festival. And she said, I'm from South Louisiana, which, is in fact. Don't let the voice fool you.
Mm-hmm.
And she says, Mudbug Madness is better. I'm paraphrasing, but this is in effect what she said. Breaux Bridge does not hold a candle to Shreveport's Mudbug Madness. Is that true? Do you stand by that statement?
Oh, absolutely. I've been to both many times. They can claim all they want down there, Terry. Seriously, and I'm not doing this just because I'm sucking up. We really Mudbug Madness rocks.
I like the pun, the whole sucking up thing. And you know what? I'm going to stand by your answer too.
They do some things down there that are great, but our festival, you're going to draw thousands upon thousands of people to our community starting tomorrow. Festival kicking off what time tomorrow? 11
a.m. each day, Thursday through Sunday, 11 a.m. to 11 p.m.
Good heavens, it's going to be better than ever. Give us some. Usually I'm a Friday or a Saturday and Sunday night guy, but give us some of the great headliners that folks across the area can see this weekend.
Okay. Well, on our main stage, of course, we try to keep it all Cajun and Zydeco, and we've got four or five of the top Cajun and Zydeco performers, some Grammy winners. We've got Terrence Simeon, Wayne Toops, Dwayne Dupsy, Waylon Thibodeau, and over on our Swamp stage where we kind of do a mix of music, top 40, some rock, some Southern rock, hillbilly, and country. We've got Southern Roots, Flow Tribe. I mean, we've got Dirtfoot. And then on Saturday night, we have Mark Broussard.
I was going to say, I thought Mark Broussard was here, which will be a huge draw.
Yeah, it'll be a big Saturday night. Sure will.
Terry, one of the big draws, of course, are the crawfish. You're going to have crawfish in all kinds of varieties, right?
Oh, yeah. We've got, of course, your traditional boiled crawfish, which we'll serve up about 80,000 pounds of those.
I'm sorry, what was that again, please?
About 80,000 pounds of crawfish over 4 days. And then, of course, there's crawfish etouffee, there's fried crawfish po' boys, there's crawfish made up in every way. But in addition to that, we've got tons of other food, for everybody's palate, meat pies and sausage on a stick, and you name it, we've got stuff, tacos. One thing we added this year is some local food trucks, so we're excited about that.
Mm-hmm.
And so the main food booths will be up at the main site, and down in the swamp you'll see a row of food trucks. And so we're happy about that.
Lots for the kids to do, too, as usual, right?
Yeah, as a matter of fact, we kind of enhanced our children's area this year. A lot more interactive activities, and there's karaoke, and there's a little Mudbug Idol contest. So it's going to be fun.
You know, pardon me, I'm looking at your website right now. It's mudbugmadness.com. And this is awesome. Right there on the front page, and you've got the countdown, 1 day, 1 hour, 20 minutes. But it says, from out of town, how to eat mud bugs.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
I love it.
Isn't that awesome? Yeah.
I'm going to do my crawfish call one more time for you, all right? I know you look forward to this every year, don't you?
I do.
No, wait.
Here we go. You ready?
God, Terry, why did you say yes, I do? Okay.
That's for you, Robert.
In wrapping this up, because usually the crawfish call,
it's going to make the biggest ones come to our
it's
pots.
at a frequency that knocks the transmitter off the air, both the AM and the FM. If you're listening on the stream, you should be fine. Terry, in advance, it kicks off tomorrow. It's Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Mudbug Madness, 24th to 27th. More awesome than ever. Festival Plaza downtown. Thank you in advance. If you still have your hearing after this, this is the audio equivalent of the Hawaii volcanic eruption. Terry Matthews,
Sorry,
Mudbug
Terry.
Madness, thank you so much, and I'm sure we will see a ton of you this weekend. And if anything changes, if anything comes up, don't hesitate to give us a call, okay?
We'll do it. Thanks, guys.
You bet.
Awesome. Our pleasure as always.
You want it again?
No, my glasses are broken. 101.7 FM, 17, not to mention my eardrums. Is Paul Pratt next?
We think so, yeah.
Hope not. Not if he heard that. Traffic update. Here's Ruben on KEEL.
Looking right now at some slow-moving traffic on Greenwood Road near Hearn Avenue, and we have some traffic delays on Benton Road near Shed Road in Bossier City. If you have any accidents, hazards, or closures to report to us, please give us a call at our Planet Fitness traffic hotline. That's 687-ROAD.
Your AccuWeather.com forecast. Patchy fog this morning, otherwise partly sunny today. A thunderstorm this afternoon with a high of 89. Some clouds and a shower or thunderstorm tonight. With your AccuWeather.com forecast, I'm meteorologist Heather Zayer.
.101.7 FM and 710 KEEL. It's 841. Robert J. Wright and Erin McCarty. Paul Pratt, Gateway Development Consortium is back again. Hey, Mr. Paul, how are you today?
Hey, good morning, Robert. How are you?
I'm well. Let me ask you.
Sounds like a memorandum of misunderstanding for us.
It's MOM is what we're calling it. At the end of yesterday's city council session, with the addendums and the vote and the changes to the memorandum of understanding, at the end of the day yesterday, are you feeling good? You feeling bad? Tell us what you're thinking.
Well, first we want to thank those councilmen and women that did vote in favor of this. We feel good. I mean, this just starts the engagement process. And so we're very positive about the outcome, and we're looking forward to sitting down and making this a reality.
Paul, they put some things on your plate. One being they want to see a commitment from the state on the municipal complex within a year. Is that realistic?
I mean, that was already on the plate. I mean, everything that the initial LOI and MOU entailed was already there. This just helps us to streamline and put things more specific. There are 6 agenda items that we will be able to handle. I mean, it was already there. So
what about the financing? That was pretty specific. They want to see financing for 500 housing units. How close are you to that?
Well, I mean, the process started last night or yesterday. In order to advance to the private sector and to raise the finances, I mean, we needed a commitment from the city. Part of the MOU is just an agreement to a partnership.
So you interpret yesterday's vote by the council, in spite of the fact that they sort of are balking at using the term memorandum of understanding, did you and your folks at GDC, did you take it as a memorandum of understanding?
Well, whatever they want to call it, we accept it as long as we're sitting down at the table and coming up with the final agreement. I think this just gets us there.
It looks like also that that at that table when you sit down, the council wants it to be you guys and the mayor. Are you comfortable that that's going to happen, that that's going to move pretty quickly?
Well, we hope the mayor wants to sit down and advance this agenda item. I mean, we can sit back and do nothing and watch our city decline, or we can do something now, or we can do something later. But the option of not doing anything is just not there.
Speaking of involvement by the mayor, as relates to the MOU, it seems to me that Miss Ollie originally sort of kicked it back to the council, and that yesterday the council sort of kicked it back to the mayor. Do you guys feel that way at all? Are you sort of concerned by the, I don't want to say unwillingness of anybody involved to put their foot down, as it were? Is that of concern to you guys at all?
We're not concerned. We just know that, we're further along the process than we were a few weeks ago. And if the mayor decides she wants to take the lead, and it's clear that she doesn't, or the council wants to take the lead, we just know that we got to do something.
You told some folks after the meeting yesterday that you, and I'm maybe misquoting you, so help me out here, that you could be breaking ground as early as 18 months from now. Is that accurate? And what would you be breaking ground on?
Well, that was always the message that, if we can get this thing advanced, 18 months from now, we could be, at least turning dirt. That message still stands.
What would be first, Paul? What would you break ground for first? What would be the first building to be built?
Well, the municipal complex would be the very first, but, that's a part of the master plan agreement. So we got to sit down with the mayor's staff and the engineers and our team and master plan this whole design.
We had City Councilman Michael Corbin on last hour, and he said in his mind, he was one of the nay votes yesterday, he said in his mind that the process as it is currently, as it's in the pipeline, so to speak, he says he feels as though the whole thing is sort of backwards. Do you know what he means by that, and do you think that's a fair criticism?
Don't know what he means. I have talking to Councilman Corbin, and I'm hoping he's for economic development, and this is a process that most developers start. You have to get support from the city in order to bring in the private sector. I know this is new to the city to have a public-private partnership, but that's what it is.
And in speaking with Mr. Corbin, what we sort of inferred was that he and maybe a couple of other council people are still unclear as to what it is that GDC, representing whomever, wants from Shreveport. Can you clarify that for us a little bit, based on the presentation? What does GDC want from the city?
We were always clear about infrastructure improvements. It's no different from the recent Krogers that came in. I'm quite sure the city provided some infrastructure improvements.
Pardon me. As a matter of fact, Mr. Michael said that usually the city does not do infrastructure. So
there was only two cases that we've seen that infrastructure improvement didn't take place, and that was in Southern Trace and Long Lake. But the city always participates in economic or infrastructure improvement. That's a part of incentivizing a company to move to Shreveport or any city.
Paul,
that's always been clear.
Let me ask you this: the vote that they took last night, does this now begin the process of you bringing in financing? Does that help speed that up?
Was that enough for you?
Well, on Monday, we brought our developer from Janus Property in, and he talked about that process. And he also indicated that there would be no finance movement unless there's a memorandum of understanding. No investor wants to come to town and they got to go through the political process and raise money. So that's why we have local people that are participating that are tax-paying citizens that want to see this city survive.
But did you take, so we're back to my original question earlier on, did Janice interpret yesterday's letter as a memorandum of understanding? If Janice isn't willing to move until there's an MOU, was yesterday, in your mind, an MOU?
Well, we'll say yesterday's movement was very positive. We're going to convene today. Janice was not in town on yesterday, and we'll figure out what that is. And then we may have to sit down with the council to figure that out. But it's a very positive move.
What is Janice's what is the collective time frame that you're giving the city of Shreveport for what would be an acceptable memorandum of understanding? Is there one?
Well, we're in no rush. We've done our due diligence to educate them about what our plans are. And there's still a lot of work. The next step is to go to the state. We've already had some conversation, and we got to complete those conversations. Because even the state doesn't want to come in, and they have to maneuver through some political games.
Paul, and we're talking to Paul Pratt with the GDC. Let me ask you this, Paul. Were you may have been at the meeting or watched. It got I was kind of squirming watching it. It got kind of nasty, and I know you didn't want it to go there. Were you uncomfortable with how this has kind of come down here at the end?
Well, there were some uncomfortable moments in the meeting, and I was there for the full meeting. But there were just citizens expressing, their displeasure of the city not moving forward, and I respect that. That's part of our democracy.
And Councilman Corbin also told us this morning he would rather see us move in the effort of let's do RFPs, requests for proposals. Let's see what other development groups are out there that are willing to invest in Cross Bayou.
Well, I think we've had over 100 years to do that. And there's been studies after studies since the 50s to talk about Cross Bayou and how we move forward. But there's been no development. So RFP could have been done back in 1950. And here's 2018. There's still no development. So we're the only one at the table right now.
Paul Pratt, I can't thank you enough for your time. By the way, thanks for everything you did for Paint Your Heart Out Shreveport. People don't say that enough. It was a big
52
event.
52 homes, over 1,200 volunteers. We got a lot of positive things going on in the city besides the negative.
You bet. Paul, thanks for your time.
All right. Thank you.
851, it's 101.7 FM, 710 KEEL. Ruben's here, traffic update.
Looking right now at some slow-moving traffic on Greenwood Road near Hearn Avenue, and we have some traffic delays on Benton Road near Shed Road in Bossier City. If you have any accidents, hazards, or closures to report to us, please give us a call at our Planet Fitness traffic hotline. That's 687-ROAD.
Your AccuWeather.com forecast. Patchy fog this morning. Otherwise, today will be partly sunny with an afternoon thunderstorm at a high of 89. Another shower or thunderstorm tonight. With your AccuWeather.com forecast, I'm meteorologist Heather Zayer.
You're listening to American Ground Radio's Morning Minute.
Texas Governor Greg Abbott is hosting a 3-day series of roundtable discussions on how to prevent school violence. He called for the meeting in the wake of the mass murder at Santa Fe High School south of Houston last week.
Look, in the 3 months since Parkland, 14 states have proposed arming school personnel, but only one state, Florida, has actually armed its teachers if both the local school district and local sheriff's department
agree. Look, no teacher should be required to protect, but no teacher is required to carry. It's voluntary. Those who want can bring their guns to school.
As George Washington said, the unarmed man allures the ruffian. We've had too many people in our schools unarmed and too many ruffians.
American Ground Radio, where building a better America begins with building a better us. Return each weeknight from 6 to 7 p.m. with Louis R. Avalone and Stephen Parr on 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL and streaming live at KEELnews.com.
Robert J. Wright, Erin McCarty once again for Twin City Appliance. They're online at TwinCityAppliance.com. Here's what Erin liked, because they came to her house and they fixed her, his name was Colton.
Colton,
right?
yeah.
It says, and I knew this would be like the big selling point for you, our techs all wear uniforms.
Yeah.
Erin finds she likes men in uniforms.
I absolutely do. And, my fridge wasn't a big issue, but it needed a little bit of work because I didn't want to buy a new fridge. I'd just been through the home remodel. I wanted to keep what I had.
When Colton came to your house and fixed the problem, did it take less time? Was it a simpler process than you had anticipated being a major appliance?
It absolutely was. And he told me the fix, what I needed to do. Then he said, and look, in about a week, call me back. Let me come back out here and make sure my fix took care of the problem.
But there's
because it's free.
But there's a guarantee too, right?
Yep, 30 days from the first call, they'll come back and make sure that you don't have the same problem we're brewing up.
Twin City Appliance, the largest appliance servicer and repair folks in the Shreveport-Bossier City area. Call 318-688-0253. They have awesome uniforms. See them online at TwinCityAppliance.com. .101.7 FM and 710 KEEL. Robert and Erin. Okay, so is today actually Shreveport Mudbugs Day in the city of Shreveport?
I think it is today. They were at the city council yesterday. Tommy Scott was there, and they brought the Robertson Trophy. It was really cool.
I mention that because on social media, specifically Facebook, over the last week or so since the Mudbugs won the championship a week ago Monday, there have been lots of links to articles from players' hometowns.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man, I don't have time for this.
Oh no,
we're past 57.
Yeah, we're at 57:20. We could just keep talking for the full 3 minutes here.
You know what? Let's bag Kim Commando today. This is too awesome.
Let's bag her.
Okay, so on social media, you have seen a lot of links to players' hometown newspapers, television stations, radio stations, etc. There's a guy for the Mudbugs. He's from Cold Spring, Minnesota, named Nikolai Jensen.
Minnesota.
And he is a top prospect.
Mm-hmm.
And this is what was written in his hometown newspaper, an article about Nikolai Jensen being part of the Shreveport Mudbugs North American Hockey League championship winning team. Okay, so he, meaning Jensen. Okay, so he's playing his home hockey games in Louisiana. The crowds could not possibly have been big, or the fans into the game if they were, right? Well, actually, listen to this. Well, actually, Shreveport was second in the North American Hockey League in attendance, averaging 2,925 fans for their 30 home games during the regular season.
Incredible.
No. Well, it is, but listen. Actually, Shreveport second, blah, 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 29-25 for their 30 home games. To put that in perspective, now remember, the Mudbugs are college-age players.
Mm-hmm.
To put that in perspective, that would have been the 30th best average attendance among Division I men's hockey programs this season.
Wow.
That ain't bad.
That's pretty cool.
So congratulations once again to the Mudbugs. Shreveport Mudbugs Day, the day before Mudbug Madness kicks off. No small coincidence there, my friends.
You bet.
Back tomorrow morning, 6 till 9. Robert J. Wright, Erin McCarty, 101.7 FM, 710 Keel. Traffic update standing by. Here's Ruben.
Looking right now at some slow-moving traffic on Greenwood Road near Hearn Avenue, and we have some traffic delays on Benton Road near Shed Road in Bossier City. If you have any accidents, hazards, or closures to report to us, please give us a call at our Planet Fitness traffic hotline. That's 687-ROAD.
Your AccuWeather.com forecast. Patchy fog this morning. Otherwise, today will be partly sunny with an afternoon thunderstorm at a high of 89. Another shower or thunderstorm tonight. With your AccuWeather.com forecast, I'm meteorologist Heather Zayer.
Breaking news and trending talk. This is 101.7 FM and 710 Keel. KEEL, Shreveport.